Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hello. 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 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2. It's working now. Well, we got to go up, but we're ready to go. Let's go. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. From Pan American Stadium in New Orleans, the LHSAA and Crescent City Sports are proud to present the Allstate Sugar Bowl LHSAA Thursday night football game of the week. Tonight, the McDonogh 35 Ron Eagles take on the Carver Rams. And a pleasant good evening. Ken Trahan with Eric Held of the LHSAA as we get set to bring you tonight's action. And the coin toss is taking place. Carver won the toss and deferred, so McDonogh 35 will get the ball first. And, of course, first up to get things started, we have our national anthem, and then, of course, the start of the game coming up as well. So, and let's just talk a little bit about it, Eric, and what's happening here tonight with this matchup. This is a rivalry that spans many years, and obviously there are ties that bind on each side. Wayne Reese, of course, former head coach at Carver, and now the head coach at McDonogh 35 for so many years. And two programs that have enjoyed a lot of success and placed a lot of players at the next level over the years that hook up here this evening.
No questions. Two storied programs here. Wayne Reese, as you mentioned, coached at both schools at Carver and McDonogh 35. He's in his 18th year at McDonogh 35. Had the pleasure of coaching many great athletes at Carver. Of course, Marshall Falk being the headliner there, a storied NFL and a Hall of Fame career for the Indianapolis Colts and the St. Louis Rams as well. Another player as well, Lenarice L. Page. And you know you're old as a coach when you come full circle, when you're coaching against one of your former players. L. Page, of course, storied player for Carver, for Tulane as well. His son now plays for Carver, a receiver and kick returner, and he's the offensive coordinator for the Rams.
Awfully good, to say the least. Wayne Reese, 18th year at McDonogh 35, head coach for 39 years. Previously the head coach at Booker T. Washington, where I first met him, and then at Carver before coaching at Washington Marion and ultimately at McDonogh 35. Byron Addison, boss of the Carver Rams in his 7th year, 37 and 32 overall, and he's had his team in the playoffs all 6 years that he's been at Carver. A really fine young coach. Two good coaches, two good men here.
Really good. And two programs that are blessed with being at campus facilities now that have had major facelifts. McDonogh 35 within eyesight of us here at Pan American Stadium right across Bayou St. John. And, of course, Carver down in the lower 9th Ward. And they have a sparkling new facility as well. Great leadership at both schools.
Indeed. So, as we mentioned, the coin toss won by Carver. They deferred, so they're going to kick off to get things started here this evening. And their fine kicker to get things started is Gary Blake. McDonogh 35 will drop a receiver deep, and that's a very dangerous player in Marion Henderson, their junior, who's just been outstanding thus far this year and a definitive college prospect, a guy you want to keep an eye on throughout the course of the evening today. Carver in the orange look tonight. Orange helmets, orange shirts, orange pants. McDonogh 35 with the maroon pants, the white jerseys, and the yellow gold helmets. Kickoff received at the 6, upfield to the 10, 15, bouncing it outside 20. Another move to the outside and out to about the 24-yard line. On the return for McDonogh 35 was Terry Williams, and that's where the Ron Eagles will put the ball in play, starting off at about their own 24-yard line. And the offense will trot onto the field. They've switched quarterbacks in recent weeks. Manuel Armstrong has taken over the starting duties. He played some in the first couple of games, but now he's the starter. And getting an opportunity. Good thrower, left-handed thrower. Had a chance to do one of his games earlier this year. And he has Stephen Williams, a fine running back. Stephen Williams is the running back. And, of course, you'll also see Wayne Dales, McDonogh, the wide receiver, among others, to be sure as well. And so 1st and 10 for McDonogh 35, operating at their own 24-yard line as the Ron Eagles get things started here this evening. Calling for the football on a run to the left side across the 30 and out to the 32. as they run the ball and run it strictly out of the Wildcat formation. Stephen Williams took a direct snap, and he's able to get it forward. Williams up to about the 32-yard line, so Williams gains 8 on the first play, 2nd and 2.
What you'll see from McDonogh 35 on offense, you'll see a lot of 4 wide receiver, 1 back, but you'll see different personnel groups, different formations, 2 tights, 2 running backs.
On 2nd down and 2 yards to go. Armstrong now in the game at quarterback as expected. Just a 6-man front, wants to throw the ball. Steps up, trying to roll away from pressure. Left-hander across his body, dangerous, and it is intercepted. On a tip ball, you can see that coming. Throwing across his body, going the opposite way. Pass is intercepted by Draylon Reed-Evans, and Evans comes up with the first turnover of the game in McDonogh 35 territory. It will be Carver football at the 48-yard line.
Not something we want to do, of course, on the 2nd snap from scrimmage for the Ron Eagles is to turn the football over, gives Carver great field position at the Ron Eagle 49-yard line. On the first play from scrimmage, Ken, they actually motioned the quarterback out and sent the direct snap to the running back. So something a little different there for the Carver defense to see.
So Carver starts at the McDonogh 35, 48-yard line. A great place to start with Quincy Curry, their fine quarterback, operating. First minute of the game. Quick snap. Wants to throw a screen the other way. Set up nicely. Caught, but great pursuit defensively. We'll shut it down for a loss of about 2 yards on the play. Well defense there as the pass was completed to Linares Elpage, and Elpage loses 2 at 2nd and 12.
McDonogh 35 is a base 4-2-5 defense. That's their scheme on defense. A lot of different coverages. They'll disguise coverages. They'll mix things up there. You saw no safety in the middle of the field. They went straight man in the secondary.
2nd down and 12 yards to go from midfield. Single setback, gets the call running left. Good running room across the 45 and down to the 44-yard line on the carry. This Randolph Armstead, leading rusher for the Rams. He picks up 6 on the play to make it 3rd down and 6.
Armstead, the leading rusher for the Rams. Simple inside zone play to the left, which you'll see a lot of some RPO off the inside zone with a bubble to the receiver away from the back.
Here's 3rd down and 6, and a quick throw outside is caught. Trying to get to the marker. He got it and more across the 35 and down to about the 32-yard line. That's a 1st down for the Carver Rams, and Linares Elpage on the catch and the run after the catch.
Familiar name for the Carver Rams. Of course, Dad was a star, and now son's making his own highlights for Carver on the bubble screen.
On a gain of 12, it's 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Carver operates no huddle. Curry the snap, wants to throw it. Looking, throwing deep down the middle, incomplete into a lot of traffic there. 3 white shirts around the ball, and the pass falls incomplete as he tried to fit it in there, and obviously a lot of traffic, couldn't quite get the ball where he wanted to. The pass was intended for number 1.
Carver is in 10 personnel.
Number 11, I should say.
Carver's in 10 personnel, 1 back, no tight ends, almost exclusively the entire game. You'll see him in 2-by-2, 3-by-1. They had the old NCAA route there, a post and a dig.
2nd and 10. Carver operating from the 32-yard line. And a whistle sound as the flag goes down and helmets come off all over the place. So a flag on the play as Armstead had the carry, but again, flag coming down left and right. So we'll check that. Carver clapping, so it looks like it's going to go against 35. Personal foul, face mask call. So that's going to really do some damage to 35. Armstead on the carry and obviously lost yardage. The 15 yards are going to be marked off, and that's going to end up giving them a 1st down by the time we're done here. First penalty of the game, working against 35.
One thing that McDonogh 35 didn't help themselves in their close loss to Thibodaux last week by a score of 30-29 was hurting themselves with penalties and turnovers, and that's something they know they cannot do tonight against the Carver Rams.
Loss of 2 and then the 15-yard penalty as well on a 1st down. at the 19-yard line. Curry under pressure, steps up, wants to throw, takes off, and slides down. So Curry able to get it down to about the 16-yard line. Gain of about 3, where it's going to be 2nd down and 7 yards to go.
One of the keys for the McDonogh 35 defense was to stop the scrambling ability of Curry from their quarterback position for Carver, as well as keeping the ball on zone reads. That's something they worked on all week in practice, working on defending the zone read and quarterback scrambles.
From the 16-yard line on 2nd down. Make it the 17, 2nd and 8, a gain of 2. Taking the snap and running it. Armstead's going to be in the backfield and drop for a loss. Good defensive penetration and a good play made for McDonogh 35 by number 55, Walter Robert, the 6'2", 260-pound junior.
In Carver's previous games against Sanamon week 1, Brother Martin in week 2, and last week against John Ehret, whenever the running back would stack the tackle, it was almost 100% pass. When they did run the football, they run counter tray, as you saw right there. Take the fullback that was stacking the tackle and would be the puller along with the guard.
Loss of 4. It's 3rd down and 11 at the 21. Or short 12. Take your pick. Curry surveying, steps up, decides to run. 15 and fights his way down to about the 12. Tackled there, short of a 1st down. Tackle made by number 8, David Ellis, and Ellis playing with a knee injury, but he's playing. So now Carver likely, well, we'll see what they're going to do. They have a very good kicker. I was just about to say they're likely to kick it because Gary Blake has been very good for them this year. Young man from Jamaica had a 42-yard field goal in the win over Ehret. He's going to come in and try this. This is going to be a 30-yard attempt, right hash mark.
Gary Blade on for the field goal attempt.
Watching Blake in warm-ups, definitely has range from 45 plus. We'll see how he does from the right hash.
Right hash, it's going to be 29 yards officially. Left footer has it up, and he has it through. So, just like that, 6:54 to play in the first quarter. Carver takes a 3-0 lead. Boy, you have the good kicking game. It pays big dividends, doesn't it?
Sure does. One thing that extra added dimension to Carver, playing Sanamon at the pit, which is a tough place to play, to go in there and knock them off. Of course, John Ehret, the win over the Patriots last week. But really, the week 2 game in which they lost 10-0 to Brother Martin, in that close win against such a good program of Brother Martin, really sent a signal to 4A programs around the state that Carver is, in fact, one of the top teams in this class. And one of the reasons is because of the kicking game. Blake as their kicker, Lauren Dean as their punter, and then just their coverage units. On the opening kickoff, you saw running back Randolph Armstead, the starting running back, making the solo tackle on the McDonogh 35 kick returner. And that's something that Coach Byron Addison and his staff are doing, playing a lot of their starters on their kickoff team and their punt team as well.
9 plays, 36 yards, 4:07 off the clock, 29-yard field goal by Gary Blake. Gives Carver the early lead. Blake to kick it off now. In the air. Very good kick here. And again, the weapon of having the very good kicker puts the ball in the end zone. Touchback will have 35 start from the 20 after a turnover on its first possession.
No question. When you can force the opposing team to start their possession at the 20-yard line, force them to drive the ball 80 yards, the percentages are very small in high school football for you to drive the football 80 yards, somewhere in the 15% range. So almost about 1 out of every 6 times when you do that, you put your defense in an advantageous situation.
35 starting from its 20-yard line. 6:54 to play. Run it left. Cut back. Nice cut across the 25. Good run out to about the 28, 29-yard line. That's what you want, is that one cut run. And that's what you saw right there from Stephen Williams, a good back.
Absolutely. Williams puts his left foot in the ground and gets downhill. One thing that you don't see a lot of young running backs do is get downhill. Most of them, they still have that playground mode where you could outrun everybody and use your speed, try and circle the defense, and most of the times it's not successful at this level. 2nd
and 1 at the 29-yard line. After the 9-yard run, split backs this time. Beyond Armstrong takes the snap, fakes it, wants to throw it. A lot of time Can't find anyone. Finally throws it, and it's caught but out of bounds. Tight coverage, tight window. Williams the catch, but good coverage on the play for Carver, applied by 10. Duke Coleman, who's a special player, along with Malcolm Atkins.
Two backs in the backfield, play action fake. They actually ran a boot, pull the backside guard to protect for the quarterback, and they ran a flood route to the boundary side of the field. So had they run it to the wide side, yeah, probably would have completed, but you do have to put it on film, and you do have to run flood to the boundary side, put it on film, make opponents prepare for you down the road.
And more comfortable with a lefty moving left. They had that free down because it's 3rd and 1. Felt like they can make it here. Let's see if they do. And keep it. They will. And sitting down at about the 35 is Armstrong with the first down. Made a good read there and gets the first down.
No doubt. Sometimes one of the best running plays when you fake to the fullback is have quarterback follow. You have an advantage of having a back clear the way and act as a ISO lead back for you.
Initial first down of the game. We'll get the official timeout here. This hydration timeout is brought to you by Powerade, the official sideline thirst quencher of the LHSAA. If you want to help your school get updated equipment, upgrade our facilities, or buy some new uniforms, enter for a chance to win $2,000 for your school's athletic programs by submitting a video or essay to Powerade Power Your School. Enter at PoweradePowerYourSchool.com. Armstrong gets the first down. We get the hydration break. Carver on top, 3-0, by virtue of the 29-yard field goal by Gary Blake. And McDonogh 35 with its initial first down of the game. Say that 3 times fast. First down.
Alliteration at its best.
Yeah.
Archbishop Rummel education.
Talk too fast, you screw it up. I try not to, and I'll try to do better. Mr. Brother Martin. 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Ken Trahan, Eric Held with you from Pan American Stadium. 5:59 to play in the first. Salute Glenn Riebert, Adam Bryant, doing an excellent job on camera tonight. And Peter Marshall producing here from Pan Am in City Park in New Orleans. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. Different setback in the game now. That will be Foreman, Raymond Foreman. And a 3-receiver set to the right for the Ron Eagles. Tight end tucked in on the left side. Armstrong the snap. Foreman runs it, hit hard. Boy, good form tackle, got lower than the ball carrier. Drilled him straight back, and that's Duke Coleman. He's some player.
That's why he's a Kansas commitment. He'll play on Saturdays for Coach Les Miles, the Mad Hatter up there in Lawrence, Kansas.
Gain of 1 for Foreman, 2nd and 9 at the 35.
Imposing at 6'3", 225.
You bet. 2nd and 9. Empty backfield. 4-receiver set. Make it a 5-receiver set. Quick throw coming. Caught. Running room. 40. Well-designed play. Looks like it's going to be right on the first down marker on the catch by Rashad Bester. Well delivered and a first down on the gain of 9.
Great job there by McDonogh 35. They were in empty formation. 4-by-1. 4 to the field. Single receiver to the boundary. Popular concept there with your screen game is throw the single receiver screen, the tunnel screen to the boundary. Really good play.
It's actually Torrey Chambers on the catch. Wanted to make sure we get that right. 1st and 10 at the 44. Armstrong going deep and overthrown. Not there. Pass intended for Dales.
Corner route incomplete there to Dales. Again, empty for the 2nd consecutive play. A different empty look there. 3-by-2, 3 to the field, 2 to the boundary. Carver had a box there that wasn't giving McDonogh 35 the opportunity for a quarterback run. So when you get an empty, a lot of times you have numbers for a quarterback run. Carver does such a great job mixing things up. Sometimes you just have to go with the play called.
Williams in the backfield on 2nd and 10, a receiver to either side. Carver pressing the line of scrimmage. And they're going to run at him left. Nice cutback again. Williams is a good one-cut runner, isn't he? He sees what he sees very well. He makes that one decisive cut, and he gets north and south quickly.
Like you said, get north and south. I really like it. That's a sign of a mature running back, really putting his foot in the ground, get downhill, being patient, get what you can. Hey, the 3 and 4 yard run, those things are fine. Stay after it, stay after it, stay after it. 3, 4 yards, 3, 4 yards, those things are cumulative, and it'll open up to the 23, 24 yard runs down the road.
3rd and 7 at the 47 as we tick toward 4 minutes to play in the first. Armstrong runs it straight ahead. There's a hole and a first down and more for Williams as he breaks tackles and barrels across the 40 down to about the 38. Good run by Steveland Williams as he picks up 15 yards and a first down.
Williams really making an impression early. Very physical runner, downhill runner. Very satisfied with staying in between the tackles. And that's something you don't see from a young running back. Williams, 5'8", 165. The leader for the Ron Eagles on offense.
1st and 10 at the 38 of Carver. Foreman the up back. Williams the deep back. Williams gets the call, makes that one cut again, and he fights forward to about the 35-yard line. 2 tough yards there. Make it 3 to the 35. It's 2nd and 7.
Carver loading the box there. You have your typical NFL set right there where you have 2 backs, tailback and a fullback, tight end. Loading the box, playing man-free cover 1 on defense. Making it tough for the Ron Eagles to run.
2nd down and 7 at the 35-yard line. Splitting McDonogh, wide right, single receiver to the left. It's Chambers. Snap it. Counter play coming. Foreman upended at about the 31-yard line. Penetration by Carver. Looked like they might get him for a loss, but could not. Got forward for about 4. Malcolm Atkins made the tackle.
Yeah, Ken, because you have Coleman over there is very aggressive, a great upfield player. Some really good players up front for the Carver Rams. Counterplay is something you want to use there, some misdirection there.
All right, so Eric, you got to stick with the run here, right? Because it's 3rd and 3, you're figuring 4-down territory, right?
If you can't get 3 yards with 2 plays, load your bus up.
3rd and 3 at the 31. Gonna run Williams left. Williams is going to fight. Stays on his feet. Great balance, and he's able to get the first down, staying in bounds. Good run by Williams. Well done by Williams.
No doubt. Sound like a broken record, but very impressed with number 5, Steveland Williams for the Ron Eagles.
Well, it's interesting. It's where they're going to mark him now. I don't think they've given him the first down. Say apparently he did step out of bounds at the 30, so he's short, only a yard. He got forward to the 27, but apparently stepped out of bounds, so it's only a yard gain, and it's 4th and 2. Again, coming to the near side of the field, screened out by the players. Just touched that sideline, and therefore, when he did cut back and broke a tackle, he had already stepped out of bounds. So here's a big 4th and 2 at the 30-yard line. First big play of the game. Split backs this time with Armstrong. And movement up front, and that's on 35. That'll change everything. And it is really damages 35. 2nd penalty, 20 yards. So from 4th and 2 to 4th and 7, that hurts.
Yeah, they were loading the box there, McDonogh 35, and split backs loading the box, playing cover 0, no safety in the middle of the field, challenging them to make a throw. And that's something McDonogh 35 is going to have to do if they want to win this football game tonight. They're going to have to throw the football with some success.
Well, it turns into a throwing situation now, 4th and 7, and we might get a timeout here. And in fact, we will, as they head over to each side to talk things over and have that discussion. With 1:45 to play in the first, 3-0 in favor of Carver. Well, the Rams last year 6-5, lost to Belchase 20-12 in the playoffs. They won a playoff game in 2013 under Byron Addison. Been in the playoffs all 6 years under him, and they won playoff games in 1993, 95, 96, 2001, and 2002. And going back quite a bit when I was just starting in 1978, went to the state quarterfinals, lost to Jesuit 28-26 in a thriller when they featured Wayne and Dwayne Smith, who were really good football players for the Rams, who have had some outstanding players over the years that have played in the NFL, which we'll get into. Teams coming back out onto the field. It's going to be 4th and 7 from the 35-yard line. Nightfall has arrived here in City Park. And we'll see what 35 has come up with here. Kenneth Robertson, James Thomas, their co-offensive coordinators for Wayne Reese. Twin receivers to either side. Foreman is the running back. Stephen Williams is in the slot right. Keep an eye on him. On 4th and 7. Armstrong with movement up front. Flags come down, stop the play. Well, they had man coverage, and they were going to go deep on that play to Michael Peugeot, but unfortunately movement negates that. Yeah, another false start. Third penalty and 25 yards. Now from 4th and 2, it ends up being 4th and 12.
And at this point, you really got to think about sending your punt team out and pinning them deep and making them drive 85, 90 yards on you.
Agreed.
And that's what it looks like they're going to do.
Took themselves out of that situation, and now a punting situation results from it. It's going to be Torrey Chambers to punt it away.
Chambers back to punt.
Good pass from center. No rush. Got it away. Caught and going to be down. Boy, inside the 5. Don't want to field the ball back there. That's not what you want to see. And it pins Carver way back as a result. Of course, when you have Linares Elpage, you always think you can make a play, right?
No question. I'm sure Byron Addison gives him the green light, much like Oakland A's managers gave Ricky Henderson the green light to steal when you want to.
You pulled the Ricky Henderson out. I would have said Lou Brock, okay? Well, that's me.
You're a Cardinal fan.
You think? So, 1:35 to play in the first quarter. Carver gets it back with a 3-0 lead, but in the soup, as we say, back at their own 5-yard line. Quincy Curry, slot man in front of him. Receivers split to both sides. Motion and a little toss. That's a pass. It's going to go for no gain, basically. That goes down as a pass. It was a forward pass completed to number 9, Linares Elpage, but nothing doing.
Elpage with the reception.
Well defended.
Safe play there, and one thing you've seen the last few years is that jet sweep action by the slot receiver, and instead of handing the ball off, hit the receiver with a little pass in front of you, catch it, and then just lay it out there soft for the receiver coming across. It's a jet sweep with a pass. If you drop it, it's incomplete, and hey, don't chase it.
2nd and 10 of the 5, no gain on that play. Curry calls for the ball, wants to throw from his end zone. Pressure, flushed out right, and Curry just throws it down the field. Wisely got it out of there. There was a receiver in the vicinity, but he just got it out of there to make sure he didn't take any safety in that situation.
Miscommunication there with the receiver. Coaching staff was on the receiver to their bench.
Yep. Pass falls incomplete. 3rd and 10 from the 5. Von Eagles looking their chops, thinking they're going to get some really good field position out of this, if in fact they can get a stop on this down. On 3rd down and 10 from the 5. With a 3 receiver set right and a single to the left. Single setback for Carver. It's Cortez Williams. Curry wants to throw it. Curry looks, man coverage, deep ball coming down the field. Incomplete. Good coverage. And no chance to make a play there. That's just a good job on the coverage. Pass was intended for number 12, Reginald Patterson, and the coverage was excellent for McDonogh 35. Shot Foley on the coverage.
Great job by Foley. And Foley's a new starter at corner.
Yes, he is.
For the 35 Ron Eagles. So great job by him. Stride for stride, stayed on the hip of the Carver receiver. Take a shot there from your own end zone. Too many times you see teams just try and pound it out. Take a shot.
Gary Blake to punt it. He's standing 8-9 yards deep in the end zone. Stephen Williams back to receive. Carver late getting a player on. They're going to take too much time here unless they take time out, and they did. So they were a man short, had to take timeout, so they'll have 2 remaining. Timeout comes with 1:18 to play in the first half and a 3-0 lead for the Carver Rams. Ken Trahan, Eric Held with you from Pan American Stadium in City Park on our LHSAA Game of the Week via CrescentCitySports.com and the LHSAA app. We're minus Kate here this evening.
Kate on the West Coast in Portland at a professional development conference.
Okay. She's conferencing professionally.
That is correct.
Alrighty then. Glad we got that out of the way. I hope she's enjoying herself in the Pacific Northwest.
I believe so. There hasn't been any rain.
That's a plus.
Which is unusual, but we'll definitely bring some things back to the office that she can use and we can use at the LHSAA.
Blake to punt, Williams to receive, standing at about the 43-44 of Carver. And again, you got to watch the pass from center here. Blake deep in the end zone. 35 showing like they're coming. Snap is high, pulled it down, and flags come down again. Was able to get the punt off, but pressure was on and flags come down. This did not look good from the start for Carver. And it is procedure against the Rams. So now he was standing 9 yards deep there. Now he's going back 2.5 more to have to punt from. Not a good situation for the Rams.
You don't want to be backed up there as a punter. You have to give yourself room between your heels and the end line because, of course, if you step on the end line, it's a safety. And this is a situation where when you receive the snap, it's one step and get it away.
It's a 2-yard penalty because it's half the distance. So at the 3, Blake standing near the end line here. Snap it. Got it off. Bounces at the 25. Big bounce, 30, 35. And it'll end up at about the 39. That's about the best case scenario for Carver, given the circumstances. That's a 36-yard net, which is very good.
You want a 30-yard net in high school football. If you can get 30-yard net, that's really good. There you get 36. We've talked about it the last 2 weeks. If you're the punt returner, come catch the football because on average, every time the ball hits, the punting team gains a first down. Come catch the football.
Brown Eagles with a short field operating at the Rams 39-yard line with 1:04 to play in the first quarter. 3-0 Carver on top. Stephen Williams has been the primary man. He's in the backfield with Foreman. Armstrong, the quarterback. Split backs behind him. And they run Williams inside. Nice burst of speed across the 35. He's down about the 32. Boy, he's a good-looking back. Tackle made by number 20, Malcolm Atkins.
Carver in their base 3-man front. 3-4 look there. Both outside linebackers walked up. They take those ends and they bring them down into 3 techs or 4 eyes on the inside shoulder of the tackles.
7 carries, 46 yards for Williams. First quarter winding down. Second down and 3 from the 32. Armstrong wants to throw it. He does outside. It's caught by the short man. Shook a tackle. And that will get him to the first down marker before he goes out of bounds as the catch was made by Claudell McDonogh.
Give Armstrong easy throws like that, something real simple. Line up in a formation where you know what the coverage is going to be. Give him a simple concept. Build his confidence with simple throws.
4-yard completion and a first down to the 28-yard line, 4:35. Great opportunity here. 19 seconds to play in the first quarter. Snap it, run it. Williams to about the 25 on what should be the final play of the quarter. As Williams gets forward for 3 yards. And it's 2nd and 7 at the 25 as the first quarter will come to a close here at Pan American Stadium. And at the end of 1, our score is Carver 3 and McDonogh 35-0. You're watching the Allstate Sugar Bowl LHSAA Thursday night football game of the week. We're back in just a moment. Second quarter set to begin here from Pan American Stadium. Carver with a lead 3-0. Ken Trahan, Eric Held with you. Second down and 7, 35 with the ball at the Carver 25. Foreman is the running back. 3 receivers left. Foreman, the running back, as mentioned. Williams is one of those receivers in the slot position. Manuel Armstrong takes the snap, wants to throw. He's throwing it deep. A man open down the sideline, and he caught it. Touchdown. Touchdown. That's Claudell McDonald. And McDonogh 35 takes a 6-3 lead. 25-yard touchdown pass. Well delivered. Manuel Armstrong to an open receiver in Claudell McDonald.
Great fade route there by McDonald. Armstrong gets it to him. It's something you practice every day in your routes versus air, your one-on-ones. Something you do back in spring, all throughout the summer. Getting reps that way, building continuity between your quarterback and your best receiver.
Extra point attempt coming. That's David Green to try it. Snap, spot, the kick is up, and it is no good. So it falls off to the left, no good. So with 11:53 to play in the first half, it's a 6-3 lead for McDonogh 35. They took advantage of the short field.
No question. Backed him up with a punt, able to flip the field. Did a great job holding them and then making them punt, taking advantage of the short field, 36-yard drive. 3-by-1 formation on that touchdown. A lot of times your offensive coordinator will come out and tell the quarterback, okay, you get 3-by-1, you have option here, check the box. If it's 6-man box, hey, we're going to throw it, and then take a look at that single receiver, and he has a fade route there. Or if he's pressing him, you don't like it, there's a safety over the top, you can throw the bubble the other way.
The drive covering 4 plays, 39 yards, 111 off the clock, 25-yard touchdown pass. Armstrong to McDonald. Puts McDonogh 35 on top. Got a good one here tonight.
Yeah, McDonogh 35. A lot of people are surprised by their 0-3 record. Definitely not an 0-3 team. Lost a tough one last week on the road at Thibodaux. Definitely better than their record says. I think they're going to be a team to be reckoned with down the road in the 3A playoffs.
Yeah, they're dropping down a class. They're going to be tough.
No question. 3A is wide open every year. If you go through the list of teams in Class 3A every year and you list teams that could make a run at the Dome, there's going to be 12 to 15 teams that you could really say have an honest shot at getting there, and the Ron Eagles are one.
Ron Eagles will kick it off. That's Marion Henderson to do so. Carver will have twin receivers deep. Kickoff is on the ground and won't get back there. Trying to run outside left, giving some ground, and got back to where he started. Still end up with pretty good field position
To the 42-yard line.
as the short kick was picked up by Orrin Carruth. And Carver will start at its own 38-yard line. 11:48 to play in the first half. 6-3 Ron Eagles on top.
You mentioned Carruth, one of the better defenders for the Rams. Number 8, Owen Carruth, 5'10", 205-pound senior inside linebacker for the Rams. They're on their kickoff return. Coach Addison and staff playing a lot of starters on their special teams. The reason why they're able to get out fast to a 2-1 start.
Curry with a single setback with him. Armstead calls for the ball and rides Armstead, but keeps it. And he'll fight his way across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Curry for 3 yards to make it 2nd and 7 on the read play.
Yeah, the read play is something that's become popularized over the last 5 to 6 years, and something that McDonogh 35 really drilled all week in practice to stop Curry on the zone and power read plays.
2nd and 7 at the 41. Twin receivers to either side for Curry. Surveys, walks up, tells his guys what he wants, flashes a signal. Everything means something. It's the 4-man front, wants to throw it. Has time. Now rolling away from pressure. Looking, throwing down the field, and that is a good throw, but in and out of the hands of a leaping receiver at about the 45 of McDonogh 35 was the intended receiver who couldn't quite pull it in. That was Calvin Jones III, their speedster.
When the back lines up in front of the quarterback here for Carver, when you see number 2 Armstead lining up in front, it's close to a 100% pass. Unless the slot receiver from the side opposite the back motions where you may have a speed sweep or a speed sweep fake run by the quarterback, it's close to a 100% pass.
So here's 3rd and 7 at the 41-yard line for the Rams, and they go with twin receivers to either side of the field. Curry, quick snap. Looking, throwing outside. Well thrown ball and caught for a first down at midfield. Well thrown and also well timed to Linares Elpage. A gain of 9 and a first down Rams.
First down completion, Elpage. When you're in 3rd and long, sometimes you just call the play where your best player is involved, and that's one thing that Carver did right there. Elpage Sr. dialing his son's number.
So great to see Linares Sr. earlier. So much enjoyed covering him at Carver and at Tulane and doing some of his games as well. Absolute pleasure and a really good man. 1st and 10 at midfield, snap it, going to give it off. Bouncing it low, good open field tackle. Prevents the bounce outside as no chance for Armstead. Really well done on the defensive side of the football. Coming up to make that play was David Raines, his defensive back position.
Counter tray for the Rams. Pull the guard and pull the tackle. You saw Armstead try to bounce back counter tray. Well, what they're doing there, they're pulling the guard to kick out the end, wrapping the tackle around to the linebacker. Everybody else is blocking down in the gap scheme run. Everybody's being blocked the way that Armstead cut it back. Don't cut back power, don't cut back counter tray.
No gain, 2nd and 10. Armstead 4 carries, no yards. Motion to the right, empty backfield. Curry looking. He's going to go deep. Man coverage down the sideline. Beautiful throw and catch, but out of bounds. Just a well-delivered ball into tight coverage, but you can't throw the ball any better than that. Unfortunately, running out of room was Reginald Patterson Jr. at the boundary. Just missed a big connection there.
I'm really impressed by the corners here from McDonogh 35. Being pressed into duty, first career start at corner, and leveraging the receiver to the boundary. Great job by Carver in a 3-by-1 formation, motion in the back to trips. You get that single receiver isolated over here, take a shot here at the young corner.
3rd and 10 at midfield. Quick snap. Curry looking, steps up. Evades pressure, could run. He'll use his speed, and he's going to be short of the first down. Tackled at about the 45. So Curry gets 5. It'll be 4th and 5 and a decision to be made here.
4th and 5.
Got to believe you punt him deep, don't you?
You can pin him here, or you can take a shot here and come up with your best 4th and 5 play here. I'm sure they have a few of these. Try and get the defense to jump and get a first down the old cheap way, but first downs gained are never cheap.
Calvin Jones, Deloitte Lewis come in from the sideline. Looks like they're going for it. But they got to get to the line of scrimmage here. Play clock to 10. They're just getting settled with 9, with 8, with 7. 4th and 5. Play clock to 5. Curry's got to hurry with 3, with 2, with 1. They got it off. Curry wants to throw over the middle. Caught first down across the 40 and down to about the 35-yard line. Just a quick hitch. Well done, well thrown. Made it happen, and a first down as the pass was caught by number 12, Reginald Patterson, for a first down for 11 yards.
Great call there, 4th and short play, 2-by-1 formation. Flare both backs out of the split backs. You're going to pull linebackers out, and then you just have your inside receiver, 2 receiver side, run a spot route, and get yourself open. The quarterback's going to throw you the football in the shoulder opposite the dropping linebacker.
11 yards and a first down to the 34 of 35, and here's a run that's going to be blown up. Big loss, as there were all kinds of white shirts waiting on Armstead, led by David Ellis. So he is hit for a big loss.
Very impressed with the McDonogh 35 front.
There's nowhere to go for Armstead.
Carver gigantic up front. Really impressed with the 35 front out of their 4-2-5 base defense. held their own against Carr in week 2 in the 34-13 loss. They're growing up each week.
2nd and 13 at the 37. Curry steps up. Curry looking, throwing, and it's incomplete. Threw it in traffic there. The pass falls incomplete.
It'll be 3rd down.
It's going to be 3rd down as a result.
Salik Condal, number 56, interior defensive lineman for the Ron Eagles, really putting pressure there on Curry. He's been a force up there. Great get off, great use of his hands, showing some nice strength up front.
Curry 4 of 10, 30 yards thus far, and now it's 3rd down and 13 from the 37-yard line. 7:50 to play in the half. 6-3, McDonogh 35 on top. Curry takes the snap. Heavy rush inside. He evades it. He runs. He's got room. Curry slipped the tackle. Has a 1st down and more. Curry across the 20. Still fighting, and he'll finally give up and go down at about the 17-yard line. That's a big 20-yard gain and a 1st down.
Nice blitz scheme there on 3rd down for the Ron Eagles, drawn up real well by defensive coordinator Frank Daggs. However, the defensive end lost contain, allowed Curry to get outside, scramble, and do what he does best. Curry being recruited by FBS schools as an athlete, I really think seeing him on film and seeing him in pregame on the field, he has the looks of a college safety.
21 yards and a 1st down. Some are recruiting him as a receiver. He thinks he can play quarterback, and I'm not too sure he's not right. Snap it, run it left, and cross the 15 and diving down near the 12. So a solid 1st down play for Armstead. 4 yards to the 12, 2nd and 6.
Carver looks like they're going to their 3-by-1 here. A lot of inside zone in their past 3 games out of these formations. They will run some RPO stuff as well, some pre-wraps, pre-snap read.
2nd and 6 from the 12. Curry the snap, wants to throw it. He's under pressure and sacked. Sacked back at about the 19-yard line by number 17, Pierre Butler, who got him, the linebacker.
Had, I believe, their number 2 receiver on a shallow drag there come open. However, the pressure got the best of them. And McDonogh 35 is really putting pressure on the Carver offensive line, doing such a great job.
Loss of 6 on the play and an injured player on the field for Carver. Stops play with 6:36 to play in the first half. This portion of tonight's game is being presented by Rock and Bowl, with locations in New Orleans and Lafayette. Thanks to Rock and Bowl, John Blanchard and the Blanchard family for their support. And the New Orleans Quarterback Club lunches at Rock and Bowl every Tuesday at noon. Everyone invited to attend. The legend, College Football Hall of Fame inductee John Robinson will be coming to speak from LSU. We'll also have the 100-year anniversary of Jesuit Holy Cross, and both coaches, Mark Sanji and Guy LeCompte, will be there to speak this coming week as well. And the new Tulane basketball coach, Ron Hunter, will also speak. Always great luncheons, always great food at Rock and Bowl every Tuesday at noon. Be there.
Great time at Rock and Bowl, great event, the Quarterback Club. I mean, break up your Tuesday, go to work, get some business done, come on out, see some great speakers, great meal, great venue at Rock and Bowl.
Need to convince the boss that there's a 100-year anniversary of one of the best rivalries in Louisiana, so maybe it'd be a good idea to show up, right, boss?
No question.
I'm just saying.
Mark Sanji and Guy LeCompte do a great job with those programs, and it'll be interesting to see what Ron Hunter does with the Tulane men's basketball team after some NCAA appearances, NCAA tournament appearances at Georgia State.
Yep, 3rd and 12 at the 18-yard line after the sack. Empty backfield. Curry knows the rush is coming, takes the snap. Here they come, steps up, rolls left, pressure from behind, and he's going to be tackled for about a yard loss. That'll go as a sack as well, as he lost a yard on the play, as the pressure was stout once again. And this time it's Tariq Jones who got him. Now 4th down. Loss of 1. So 4th down and 13. At the 19.
Field goal try for the left footer Blake.
He's a good one, as we saw him earlier, nailed a 29-yarder. He's got a 42-yarder already this year. This will be 36 yards, left hash mark. So a little distance and an angle too. And before the snap, whistle sounds. And a timeout was called with 5:30 to play. This might be, I haven't seen a hydration break, and I think that, oh no, they said timeout Carver. Did they forget about the hydration break? I guess
Looks
they did.
like they did.
So, as he signaled timeout Carver, the call here, so that would be the second timeout, I believe, for the Rams. So they will talk it over. And we'll see. Got a good game next week. As we look forward to making the trek to Baton Rouge next week. Eric stays home. We make a little short trip to Boss Field and U-High Cubs, two-time defending state champs in Division II, hosting always tough Parkview Baptist, which should be a good matchup. A real rivalry there between those two. Look forward to that one. Jeff Bossfield on the campus of Louisiana State University.
Really nice facility they have there, built right behind the LSU indoor, with Alex Box just a few yards away.
We'll be there. We hope you'll be watching next Thursday night here on the LHSAA Game of the Week via CrescentCitySports.com and the LHSAA app. I don't know about you, but I'm liking this. We're having a good time.
It's fun. Fun Thursday night. Fun getaway. Fun to watch high school football.
You get stuck with me. That's the only problem you got to deal with.
That's okay. It's only 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
That's why the day's 24 hours.
It's all good. I'll have my chance to get back at you. Gary Blake will kick it. 36-yard attempt, left hash mark. The holder is 15, Jaheim Patterson. Has the leg for this, for sure. See if he has the accuracy as well. Snap, spot, kick is up, and it is no good. So, pretty good rush. Blake fails, and McDonogh 35 holds, and trying for the tie, didn't get it, and the Ron Eagles take over. So a good stop there from McDonogh 35 with 5:25 left and a half. They get it back with a 6-3 lead.
Informed at the 5:30 mark that it was in fact a heat and humidity.
Oh, okay. Well, they signaled Carver, but
they did.
I'll have to make a note of that to tell you all about that in a moment. This hydration timeout was brought to you by Powerade, the official sideline thirst quencher of the LHSAA. There you go. I got it in. Just saying.
Makes the boss happy back in Baton Rouge.
Absolutely. 1st and 10 from the 20 after the field goal miss. And they're shifting all kinds of players to the left side of the formation. And they're not satisfied because it was clear there was confusion as to who belonged where from the start. And 35 takes timeout as a result.
Something you really don't like to see as a coach, something that really bothers you, is when you come out of a timeout or a change of possession or whenever the clock is stopped and you have to take a timeout.
Sure, dead ball. Should have had what you wanted, ready to roll. Coaches did.
Players came out a little bit nonchalantly there. Hey, your defense just made a big stop.
This is a veteran 35 team. They've got 12 senior starters, 9 junior starters when they started the year. Last year, of course, had really good players. Jaden Henderson now at UL Lafayette. Austin Jones now at Memphis. But they produce those kind of players every year, it seems.
No question.
1st and 10 of the 20. Foreman is the deep back. Stephen Williams the up back in this formation. This is your basic rifle formation. Snapping, faking, heavy pressure, looking, throwing across his body just to get rid of it. Manuel Armstrong was under extreme duress and did a good job to get it out of there. Made the right decision. I want to take a sack there. Be pinned way back. It's 2nd and 10.
Good decision there to throw it away and throw it away in vicinity of the receiver so that you don't take an intentional grounding penalty. One of Carver's best units is their defensive front.
2nd down and 10 from the 20. The split backs. Foreman and Williams. Motion across formation. McDonogh and 35 moves up front.
Flag on the play.
That will cost them 5 yards. This is going to be penalty number 4 for 30 yards against 35.
Talking to McDonogh 35 defensive coordinator Frank Daggs, one of the things was one of his keys to the game, and Coach Reese's keys to the game was don't shoot yourself in the foot. Don't hurt yourself with penalties and turnovers. And that's something that they did early with the turnover that led to the field goal, and now they're backing themselves up here with penalties, and then they had to take a timeout coming out of a change of possession.
2nd and 15 from the 15. Foreman, the running back, and a fake and a keep. Armstrong to the corner, crosses the 20, got what he could out of it, picks up 6 or 7 to get some valuable yards back.
To the right for 6 yards.
I like it. Zone read call. Quarterback keeps, gains 7 yards, gets it back inside the sticks. Make it about 3rd and 8. There's a lot of 3rd and 8 calls on your call sheet as an offensive coordinator.
So 3rd and 8 from the 22-yard line. Got out of bounds, stopped the clock. 5:12 to play in the half. And 6-3 in favor of the Ron Eagles. And they'll go with 3 receivers left and a single right. That's Chambers on 3rd and 8. Quick snap. Armstrong is going to throw deep for Chambers. He's got a step, but the pass is just out of his reach. Well, it's about a yard overthrown. He was being pursued by Traylon Reed-Evans, who had the interception earlier. There is a flag on the play. It's in the backfield in the vicinity of the quarterback, so we'll check this out.
Either a hold or a roughing the passer.
Right. Didn't see it because we were watching the long throw. No indication yet. This crew's done a good job tonight thus far.
They really have. They've done a really good job managing the game, moving the game along quickly as well.
Personal foul against Carver. That's a huge 15-yard penalty. Keeps the possession alive and a first down after the 15-yard penalty, and new life for 35.
Big gain there. Big offensive gain for McDonogh 35. You don't do so by the run of the pass, but you do get the first down by penalty. Helps you out from a field position situation there on that last play. Again, trips to the far side, take advantage of the one-on-one matchup to the boundary and throw it deep. If 14, Rashad Bester continues to run through the football.
Yeah,
Chambers, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
instead of running with his arms extended, he's still running into the park.
1st and 10 at the 37. Quick snap. Foreman runs left, runs into a wall, and is driven back as he reached the 40-yard line. Does gain 3.
For 3 yards.
2nd and 7.
2nd down.
Foreman with 3 carries for 8 yards. 69 yards rushing for the Ron Eagles. They've run the ball effectively in this game to this point, more so than Carver. 2nd and 7. Receivers split to either side. Ellsworth to one side, McDonogh to the other. And the run inside by Williams. Nice spin. What a move he made. Now he gets out of another tackle. Hey, look at this run. A first down for Williams. Just showed you great balance, great vision, great moves. Just a terrific run as he got it up near midfield. What a run by Williams.
Williams continues to impress. I do like what they're doing on offense by giving Foreman some carries and keeping Williams fresh.
Now there is a discussion on the far side. Might have been a flag over there. Could not see it that far away. He got a first down to midfield. And now, sideline warning is all it is. So it is a first down, a gain of 10 to midfield for Steven Williams, who's having a really good game.
If you watch Williams' library of runs, how about that?
There you go. Did a little bit of everything on that carry.
All of them. If you watch them all from tonight, you see all the characteristics you want in a running back.
Here's a straight I formation, the quarterback under center. Don't see this much anymore. Power with Williams. It works. 45. Sprints down inside the 40. Broke another tackle and gets another first down. Very effective. Steven Williams for 11 yards and another first down.
One of the keys of the game coming in for Coach Wayne Reese's Ron Eagles. Be physical at the point of the attack. Show your physicality. Dominate at the line of scrimmage. They're really holding their own up front on both sides of the ball.
Well, now they're going to get a penalty for a hold at the end of the play. That's pretty strange. It turns out to be a 10-yard carry and then a 10-yard penalty. How about that? So you start over again at 1st and 10, right? It's pretty unusual.
2 consecutive 1st and 10 plays with a penalty thrown in there. Not common.
No, it isn't.
Not common is 2nd consecutive I formation.
5th penalty, 40 yards. From midfield, 1st and 10. Screen pass coming. That's caught. Needs one block. Got a good block and got a good gain on the play. Foreman inside the 45 to the 42. Picks up 8. Pretty well set up there.
Tailback screen there to Foreman. Great job by McDonogh 35. Something you got to do to slow down the rush. Take some aggressiveness out of the front for Carver is to hit him with some screens.
Gain of 8 for Foreman. 2nd and 2. Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. It's still 6-3 in favor of McDonogh 35. Straight I formation. Foreman dots the I this time. And he'll get the call, and he'll get a first down. Big hole. Boy, power football, and they just had him outmanned at the point of attack. Down to the 32-yard line is Foreman. 10 yards and another first down.
Finding a soft spot in the defensive front there is McDonogh 35 with their running game. The defensive end for Carver playing further inside than you probably want them to. Finding a nice soft spot to run the football to with a lead back.
Well, this is exactly what Wayne Reese would like. Possession, driving, and moving the clock simultaneously. 1st and 10 at the Carver 32. This time receivers split to the left. Twins. I formation with Foreman dotting the I. On 1st and 10, quick snap. Going to run it right. This time nothing. Good job. And maybe a loss of a yard on the play because John Berryhill, the senior, was there to put him down.
8-man box for Carver from their defensive front against the I formation. Twin set for the Ron Eagles. Tough to run against 8-man front.
Loss of a yard. 2nd down and 11 as we reach 1:45 and counting in the half. No hurry here, although 35 has only got 1 timeout remaining from the 2 they've taken already. Receivers to either side. Armstrong rolling left, stops. He's going to throw it deep. Jump ball coming in, incomplete, broken up. Nice play. Intended for McDonald, and a very fine defensive play for Carver, which was made by Davion Jefferson, the senior. Good matchup there with he and McDonald.
Nice play there by the Carver secondary. Brings up 3rd down.
3rd and 11. Stops the clock with 1:23 to play in the half.
About 18 yards away from field goal range for David Green for the Ron Eagles.
Armstrong looking, throwing in the flat. That is incomplete. Pass slightly behind him. Williams got his hands on it but could not pull it in. And now it's 4th down and 11 yards to go with 1:17 to play in the half.
Ball looked like it would hit him right above the top of the numbers, and he jumped before the ball got there. He didn't time it, no need to jump. Kind of threw everything off balance, led to the drop.
So 4th and 11 at the 33. With 1:17 to play here in the first half. They will go for it. Kind of in that no man's land area on the field.
May end up taking a timeout as well.
Clock down to 4, 3, 2-1, got the playoff. Heavy rush, flushed out, has to throw it at the feet of his receiver, and Carver will take over on downs with 1:10 to play in the half. 3 straight incomplete passes, and the Rams get it back. With 1:10 left and 2 timeouts, let's see how they approach it.
One thing, just looking back, you mentioned 3 straight incomplete passes. Somewhere in there, probably on second down, a run would have forced Carver to use a timeout. Or if they let the clock run off more clock and give the Rams under a minute in which to drive 67 yards for a score, or about 40 yards to get in the field goal range.
They had run it well, but again, they had that minus play on first down, which got them into a throwing mode, and now Carver with a chance with 1:10 to play in the half. And the dangerous Curry at quarterback takes the snap. Quincy looks. Quincy flushed right. Under heavy pressure. He's going to gun it down the field and incomplete. Boy, he was just in trouble from the start. Just great pressure by the 35 defensive front. Did it without blitzing as well.
Something the 35 front's done all night is bring pressure to the Ram offensive line and the running back. They're in 6-man protection there. Whenever the back is 2 yards in front of the quarterback, it's almost 100% pass. And in this situation, you know they're going to throw the football. However, if he gets flushed out of the pocket, Curry really becomes a danger for the Ron Eagle defense.
2nd and 10 at the 33. 1:01 to play in the half. Motion across the formation. Curry wants to throw the screen. Nice catch with one hand. Good job on the back end pursuit. Just doing a good job to come make the play. Was Tariq Jones on the catch by Elpage. Got to the 36, gain of 3.
35 and quarters coverage. Both corners and safeties backpedaling. Keep everything in front of you. Linebackers dropping underneath, getting depth.
3rd and 7 at the 26, down to 25 seconds left and a half. Curry looking, a lot of time, throws the out. That's caught, and stepping out of bounds with a first down. Up at the 45-yard line is Linares Elpage. Elpage gets a first down, a gain of 9.
Move the sticks, have 19 seconds. I believe they have 2 timeouts left. Is that correct?
Looks like it. It's 5 catches, 31 yards for Elpage.
Really good job limiting Elpage to 6 yards of reception.
Defense has been stout for 35. Now Carver with 19.1 seconds left. And a couple of timeouts at its own 45. And they make some magic happen here. Quincy Curry looking, hit as he throws, guns it deep down the field and incomplete. Coverage was very good, and the free safety roaming, Marion Henderson, was the closest to the ball. And with 12.4 seconds left, the clock stops.
Rush 4, drop 7, send your 4 linemen, rush the quarterback. Quarters coverage, keep everything in front of you. From the secondary standpoint, your 3 linebackers just continue to drop, and you have 7 defenders covering 4 receivers.
2nd and 10 at the 45. Ball on the ground, picks it up, rolling right, trying to avoid pressure, will take off. Look at the athleticism of Curry. Took a big hit. Clock's going to run out on this play, though, as forward progress stopped at the 44, but the first half will come to a close. Curry with an 11-yard run, but the first half comes to an end as McDonogh 35 has a 6-3 lead over the Carver Rams. And a very hard-hitting, solid first half of play here. And 35 takes a lead to the break. Might surprise some, but again, they've played a tough schedule.
35's definitely played a tough schedule. Definitely not an 0-3 football team. Sure, they lost to 3 on the field, only thing that matters. However, they've grown each game. The Carr game in week 2 when they were down 21-0 and came back and played a 2-touchdown. They matched the Carr Cougars to 2 touchdowns apiece in the second half. Kept fighting, kept coming back, really showed some maturity there. Really like the improvement of the Ron Eagles through the course of the season.
Fans, you can watch tonight's
Oh, a solid
LHSAA
first-half
Game
performance
of the
by
Week
McDonogh 35, I
live
thought,
and via replay.
really on defense in particular.
CrescentCitySports.com.
And they ran the ball effectively.
No question, ran the ball effectively.
CrescentCitySports.com.
And Armstrong hit a couple of key passes. The touchdown fade pass there was a big one. Definitely helping with his confidence as a passer.
Yep. Certainly impressive performance by the defense, getting the job done in solid fashion. And now, of course, Carver will head to the locker room, and they'll try to make some adjustments to see if they can come back and find a way to get their offense on track, because they really have largely been unable to do so thus far in this football game, with a 6-3 lead at the half for McDonogh 35 over Carver. We'll take the time out here. Halftime feature coming up. Stay tuned for that. This is the Allstate Sugar Bowl LHSAA Thursday Night Football Game of the Week, a presentation of Crescent City Sports.
That we're doing this year, just for the safety of all athletes, is a pre-game administrative conference where different school officials, principals, security, all types of people get together and just discuss everything they need to know before any type of competition starts. So can you just tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the acronym package of that pre-game administrative conference is an important piece. We implement that this year in football. But it gives us more minimization, as you mentioned, minimization of risk, but it also gives the opportunity for the lead official to identify the administrative assistants on either sideline. It's not a new practice, but it's something that we feel is necessary to pull it together. It is a policy accepted practice across the United States. It's an Allstate association, so it's nothing new. We thought it was important. Plus, it gives us an opportunity to be proactive if we need something for safety purposes. There was no adage that when multiple people just show up with a flyer or a scene, you don't want to be exchanging business cards all the time. I think that's kind of where we're at now. We want to make sure that who's administrator in charge, the principal, vice principal, athletic director, designated, so we know who they are. So if necessary, any evacuation or something's going on, then the communications happen.
And this is great too, especially with any bad weather. We know here in Louisiana, we've got a lot of hot days. We've also got a lot of rainy days. So this also gives everyone an opportunity to discuss what needs to happen in case there's a lightning strike and something like that, right?
And I think the lightning strike is probably more prevalent right now in the year. But yes, so we know exactly who's in charge of the white hats. They all have that alert in their back pocket. If you will, the athletic trainers have it as well. So there's many people on the sidelines around our state, especially for football, soccer, things like that. We're monitoring and that's part of this process as well. The game is delayed, who's on the clock, who's going to do it, who's not going to do it, the time people will strike.
At the half, McDonogh 35 leading Carver by the score of 6-3. Ken
Definitely a
Trahan
good
along with Eric
administrative
Held.
process. Another thing
Kate
that
Adams,
is
the third
discussed
member of our
in that
broadcast team, is
conference
out on assignment
sportsmanship.
tonight, as Eric
Something
alluded
that
to
we're really
earlier.
trying to-
But before Kate departed, we wanted to make sure she was part of this. She had a chance to visit a number of topics with LHSAA Executive Director Eddie Bonine.
Okay, I'm here with LHSAA Executive Director Eddie Bonine. Eddie, a lot's been going on here at the LHSAA, but something that we're doing this year, just for the safety of all athletes, is a pre-game administrative conference where different school officials, principals, security, all types of people get together and just discuss everything they need to know before any type of competition starts. So can you just tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the acronym package of that pre-game administrative conference is an important piece where you can implement that this year in football. But it gives us more minimization, as you mentioned, minimization of risk, but it also gives the opportunity for the lead officials to identify who the administrative assistants will be on either sideline. It's not a new practice, but it's something that we feel is necessary to pull it together. It is a policy accepted practice across the United States with the Allstate Association, so it's nothing new. But we thought it was important, plus it gives us the opportunity to be proactive if we need something for safety purposes. There's a little adage that when multiple people, agencies show up at a fire or a scene, you don't want to be exchanging business cards at that time. I think that's kind of where we wear it out. We want to make sure that who's the administrator in charge, the principal, vice principal, athletic director, designated, so we know who they are. So if necessary and needful evacuation or something's going on in the field, then the communication's happening with the persons.
And this is great too, especially with any bad weather. We know here in Louisiana, we've got a lot of hot days. We've also got a lot of rainy days. So this also gives everyone an opportunity to discuss what needs to happen in case there's a lightning strike and something like that, right?
And I think the lightning strike is probably more prevalent right now during this time of the year. And yes, so we know exactly who's in charge of it. The White House, they all have that alert in their back pocket. Athletic trainers have it as well. So there are many people on the sidelines around our state, especially for football, soccer, that are involved in the practice as well. To know when the game is delayed, who's on the clock, who's going to do it, who's not going to do it, the time you need 30 minutes before the strike, all that kind of stuff will come to light. So it's proactive. It's a good process, good administrative process.
Well, definitely a good administrative process. Another thing that is discussed in that conference is sportsmanship, something that we're really trying to push here at the LHSAA as well as nationally. It's always good to incorporate good sportsmanship practices, so speak a little bit more about that.
Well, sportsmanship is something we address every year, and it depends on the sport. There's a lot of, it's a sportsmanship amongst the athletes, is a sportsmanship on the sidelines, is a sportsmanship in the stands, and I think all of that comes together, so it's a good family environment. But football, using football as an example, the athletes, the officials have to take care of that. This administration, led by me, is very much in favor of something that reflects the classroom as an extension of the schools, of course. So behavior as such, we understand that football is a collision sport, but you've got to be able to work these collisions within the confines of the rules. And I truly believe that the emotion that's involved in the sport sometimes gets out of hand, and when you have multiple injections, that incidents not only with athletes but also with coaches, fans in the stands, law enforcement involved. I've said it before, I'll say it again, go to the games, enjoy, be a fan, not a fan.
Well, one of the initiatives we are trying to push here at the LHSAA is compete with class. That includes respect, integrity, and attitude. You want to have respect for others, those who you're playing against, as well as your teammates, integrity of the game, and a positive attitude. So just speak a little bit more on that as well.
Well, and that's anything that we whether it be basketball, spring, we want to make sure that we do it and enjoy it. High school sports, after the weekends or Friday nights or Saturday nights where there's been incidents outside the ballpark, inside the stadiums, whatever, that we have to deal with on Monday because we're not going to mess around with it. I'm very reluctant to say zero tolerance because there's always an area where you can take review. But in the grand scheme of things, we're not going to put up with it, whether it be in the crowd, in the fans, in the stands, on the sidelines, coaching behavior, student behavior, athletic behavior on the field. It's up to our officials, which include but not limited to profanity, vulgarity, anything that we would allow in the classroom. I don't see why we would allow it on the fields or in the stands. So we're going to address it. Take a good close look at it.
Well, when you mention officials, actually, here in Louisiana, August 1st, Act number 355 officially became enforced on that law. It's basically a referee harassment law. Talk about basically why that law needed to be put in place and what are we going to gain out of it?
Well, there have been multiple incidents over the course of years, just like that happened just recently because of the But at the end of the day, officials have been accosted. Either leaving the floors or leaving the fields or in the parking lots after the events. It's unfortunate, and that is the national survey. Our director of officials, Mr. Sanders, attended the National Association of Sports Officials, the NASO conference this year. And we lose officials after 3 years. Why? Because of the parents and because of stuff that goes on with that. So that's unfortunate. and we don't have a lot of officials. We're not calling out a tree. So I think it's going to be something positive. We need to watch out for them. That's all these gentlemen and ladies full-time job. They do it as an application to help the kids, and they enjoy doing it. So we just need to behave ourselves, and I think at the end of the day, we do that easily.
Well, if you're practicing good sportsmanship, hopefully you are behaving yourself. And these officials spend their nights and their weekends and their holidays as well away from their families to be there to officiate these games so these athletic competitions can take place. So it's always important to have respect, especially for the officials. I want to talk a little bit more on a lighter note. This year and just very recently, LHSAA just came out with the LHSAA Live app. You can stream every single game of the week from that app, but that is going to be used for many different things. Hopefully it's going to be our main source to push out any and all information you need to know on the LHSAA. So just talk about the importance of the app and why everybody needs to download it.
Well, the app has been something that's been in the process for the last 12 to 18 months, and I think now that we've been able to implement it, it just adds another social media platform for us. But it's one that generates a lot of eyeballs to the LHSAA and to our social media platforms. And I think that the app it should be the one app that everybody goes to, and we're hoping to do so. We've already had a really positive response for those individuals that have found it to get on it. And I think it's just a matter of over time, it's going to be the go-to for not only standings, but scores and anything else we can do, including PSAs like this one or whatever we're going to use. It's all there for us. It's been a long time coming. It's there now, and you and OMS and our marketing department need to be commended for that. You've done a great job in getting that out there. It's taken some time, but it's up and running, and we're very proud of it, and we'll hopefully everybody take advantage of it.
Well, if you haven't done so yet, make sure on your smart devices you go to whatever app store that it is that you have and get the LHSAA Live app for all the latest info on LHSAA. I want to talk about one more thing we're doing here at the LHSAA. We've got a current student athlete survey that our student athlete advisory committee is hosting. Right now that survey can be found pinned to the top of our Facebook page, and for those of you who use Instagram or other social media platforms, we've got a link in the bio of our Instagram to the survey, as well as a video to watch on our Instagram TV. But I just want to talk about the importance of this survey and why we need to encourage every single student athlete here in the state of Louisiana to participate in it.
At the end of the day, the LHSAA, our clients, are those people that we serve are the student athletes. We have over 100,000 of them in service. And I think that with that said, we need to know what they're thinking. We send out numerous surveys, and they're part of the stakeholders. And they have to understand what we're doing, how we're doing it, and why we're doing it, and what is the LHSAA and what our mission is. And I think it's an important part for what we do. And it's been a long time coming in communicating with our athletes and even any students that aren't, that are the ones that don't play a sport, but they're the ones that go and support these teams that are part of that student body that stands and cheers throughout the whole game and does all the stuff that they do at all of our sporting events. So that's just an important part for us to know what the student athletes are thinking, as well as anybody else that's a student in a school that understands what we do and how we do it and why we do it, and their opinion is wanted. And I think it's important for them to fill that out and get it back to us.
Well, if you are a student athlete, we encourage you to go to Facebook if you've got a Facebook page. It's pinned to the top. Just like I said, watch the video, then take the survey and send it to your teammates. Do the same on Instagram. Watch our IGTV video, as well as click the link in our bio to take the survey. One more topic I want to address before I let you go, Mr. Bonine. Registration for fall sports. It's very important, and that we've got some individual fall sports like cross country, as well as swimming. So just talk about how important it is for all students to either get registered or to make sure their school has them registered for that fall sport they do compete in.
Can't compete legally, if you will, eligible student athlete unless you're registered on our website. All the athletic directors and or their designatees have to register before you run or compete. So if you want to double check to make sure, because if not, it becomes a problem specifically in the individual team sports, like you mentioned in cross country. You need to make sure that you're registered and all your paperwork is in and uploaded into the system to make sure you're eligible and completed and ready to go. So we have a minimum standards for participation, and you have to meet all those, but make sure you're registered and in the books so that we make sure everything's good and nobody gets in any trouble.
Okay.
Well, that is definitely what you need to do. So if you haven't registered for your fall sports yet, please do so and make sure you are registered. Mr. Bonine, thank you so much for taking the time with me.
Thank you so much, and keep track of this young lady here. She's going to be on the sideline of all of our streaming games on Thursday night. We've initiated the game of the week. So thank you very much for watching.
Thank you guys, and thanks, Mr. Bonine.
Halftime at Pan American Stadium with McDonogh 35 on top of Carver 6-3, along with the coach Eric Held. I'm Ken Trahan. Glad you've joined us this evening as we've had a defensive first half. I think that's the best way to phrase what has transpired here in this game. Obviously, one turnover was big, and then a punt that was forced back deep in the territory of Carver, which gave McDonogh 35 a short field. They took advantage and were able to go the distance, score the only touchdown of the game. It was initially a Gary Blake 29-yard field goal that put Carver on top, coming off of a turnover where an interception had put them in business, and that was, of course, by Draylon Reed Evans. Made it 3-0 in the first quarter. And then I mentioned the short field off of the punt in the second quarter. And it was a situation where the McDonogh 35 Ron Eagles took advantage. Claudel McDonald, a 25-yard touchdown pass from Manuel Armstrong. Extra point failed. Put us at 6-3 at the half. And, Eric, as you look at the first half numbers, I guess what stands out to you is the fact that 35's defense was really good, right?
No question. Carver gained 46 yards on the ground, 42 through the air, and McDonogh 35, I'm really impressed with their defense. Kind of didn't get looking at their first 3 games of the year, especially looking at Carr, which is one of the top programs in the state in any class. You kind of get a look at that game, and early on it's 21-0 Carr, but I really like the fight that the Ron Eagles had throughout the game. And then last week against Thibodeau, came out 1 point short. This doesn't look like an 0-3 ball club, especially on the defensive side of the football. Shutting Carver down, holding to 88 yards total offense. They're doing such a great job. Frank Daggs does a great job with the defense for the Ron Eagles. And the thing that they need to do is just continue to give the Ram offense and Quincy Curry different looks, different fronts and coverages, disguising coverages on passing downs and sending pressure and mixing up your pressures.
Well, the statistics definitely favor McDonogh 35. First downs 9 for the Ron Eagles and 6 for the Rams. The penalties, well, McDonogh 35 would like to clean that up a little bit. 5 for 40 yards, Carver 2 for 17. The Ron Eagles have the only 2 sacks of the half. The only turnover belongs to 35 as well. As mentioned, the rushing yardage, McDonogh 35, 98-46 edge over Carver. And the passing yardage is pretty much equal, 46 for 35 and 42 for Carver. So the total yards, 144 for McDonogh 35 and 88 total yards for Carver. You hold Carver 88 yards, it's pretty impressive. Carver's wondering about right now about its offense, which is really good. They were shut out by Brother Martin and responded beautifully last week, scoring 36 on a very good John Ehret team, but now here tonight thus far held to just 3 points. And when you look at the history of these two programs, talked about it previously, told you about Carver making it to the playoffs in several years that I mentioned, as well as the quarterfinals back in 1978. Of course, McDonogh 35 has been in the semifinals back in 2012 and 2016 under Wayne Reese, quarterfinals in 2011 and 2015 as well. NFL players from McDonogh 35, Chris Clark, who played 9 years in the league, along with Sylvester Morris, who played briefly, and then, of course, 2 guys we're very familiar with, played for the New Orleans Saints, Delvin Breaux and Talman Gardner, and then, of course, last but not least, the most significant, Neal Smith, who was a brilliant player for 13 years in the league, who was really good for McDonogh 35. Of course, on the Carver side of things, it all starts with Marshall Faulk, and why not? He was phenomenal. Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee. Arnold Miller, he was a heck of a football player. Kerry Parker, Ed Scott, Kevin Young, Brian Howard, Robert Woods, Frank Cornish, D. Martin, all produced from Carver High School and into the NFL. So, again, these are 2 programs that have produced a lot of very good players over an extended period of time. And when you look at district play, let's first of all talk about Carver. They're in a league with Warren Easton, start right there, right, along with Lusher, Livingston Collegiate, John F. Kennedy, and McMain. Certainly Warren Easton, the favorite in that league, and Carver has to be considered the second choice, right?
No question. Warren Easton, of course, what they've done over the last few years under Coach Jerry Phillips, making a push to the Dome twice in the last 5 years. doing such a great job there. But Carver really has the ingredients offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game as well, not only with their field goal kicker and punter, but also with their coverage units and their returners as well. And they really have a shot to upend Warren Easton down the road in district play, and are one of the better teams in Class 4A in the state.
That's District 11 4A, and of course McDonogh 35 dropping down in class to 10 3A this year, so it's a different look to be in a different league. And in District 10 3A, you've got Abramson Psi Academy, if you want to go the whole full name route. Douglas High School, also Sophie B. Wright, and Booker T. Washington of New Orleans. And Wayne Reese Jr. doing a nice job at Booker T. there. And yet, if I looked at that league, I'd say 35 is the favorite.
They should be. So a very tight race there in that district there with Abramson, Douglas, Sophie B. Wright, Booker T, and 35. One of the things I like, Ken, you're a traditionalist like me. You like to see the schools revert back to the names that they carried pre-Katrina.
Yeah, I like that too. And I think we're seeing a lot of that now with Douglas reviving its name, John F. Kennedy, its name, Booker T. Washington as well. Traditions are alive, and that's very important to me. So great to see, very happy, and obviously nice to know that the alumni of those schools can now claim their names once again. That's a significant piece to any tradition, in my estimation. Of course, the second half about to begin. Remember, Carver won the toss and deferred in the first half, so they will get the ball second, will the Rams, to start the second half of play here. All right, so what you've seen thus far, what does Carver have to do to start moving the football?
Yeah, they've got to get back to their identity on offense. When things aren't going too well for you, you have some things go against you. You have some protection issues, and that's brought on by the 35 front six. Get back to your identity on offense, your screen game, out of the 2x2 doubles formation, out of the 3x1, go back to empty, and then get your quarterback involved in the quarterback run game as well. And then you have some really nice pass concepts that they've put together. Lena Reese, L. Page is the offensive coordinator, that we got to see against Brother Martin in week 2, and then in week 1 against Sangamon, and last week against John Ehret. Get back to what you're good at. Get back to what you're comfortable with. Go back to your opening script and find things that your quarterback is comfortable with, and get back to your identity.
Third quarter getting set to begin here. About a minute or so, minute and a half. Players are ready to roll. And again, it's one of my pet peeves about high school is the half times are too long. The bands have long since finished playing, and players have been waiting for about 3 or 4 minutes just to start here. And the officials are just doing what they're supposed to do. They're waiting for the clock to expire. I'd like to see that change. I really would. I just think it makes for a better game, and you have a long, long halftime in these high school games. I mean, we've timed them 25 to 30 minutes in many of these situations, and to me, there's no need for that.
I remember as a coach watching your broadcast, Catholic League games, watching them with interest, because we would eventually have one of those teams in the playoffs. And I remember you talking about that, making a joke at, hey, what's the over/under on minutes of halftime?
Yeah.
Definitely with the advent of the 40-second clock now, it kind of moves things along a little bit. But, yeah, shorter halftime would definitely remedy some things as far as the speed of halftime and just the length of the game in general.
Randolph Armstead will be deep to receive the kickoff, and Marion Henderson will handle those duties. And this portion of tonight's game is being presented by Riverlands Insurance, meeting all your insurance needs, and a proud recipient of the Top Insurance Workplace Award for 2019 from Insurance Business America. That's how good Riverlands Insurance is. Thanks to Nolan Luke and his fine company for its support. Here's Henderson to kick it off. He boots it away. It is short again. It's going to bounce. Somebody's got to pick the ball up, and they do. And getting forward at that to the 40. Really good field position for Carver. Again, the inability or the lack of kicking the ball deep is going to give a short field here to the Rams at about the 41-yard line. A good job to pick that ball up off the turf and get forward. Gets up and limps a little bit. That's Owen Caruth again, who did the same thing earlier. Did a nice job. But Carver gets good field position to start the second half.
Thing I would do right away if I'm Carver, get your best screen, the one that you feel most comfortable with, that Curry feels most comfortable with, and go with your best screen play right here. First down, slow the 35 defensive front down a little bit on the first play of the second half.
First and 10 at the 42-yard line. Curry with a single setback next to him. And they'll run it, bouncing it right as Armstead trying to find the corner. He's going to get across the 45 and get out to about the 46. So Armstead finds 4 yards. They've got to find some sort of running game, don't they?
They do, and whether it's quarterback runs on your zone and power reads, or your inside zone to your back Armstead, got to get it going.
Gain of 4, second down and 6 from the 46-yard line.
Use your skill. Use L. Page Jr. on speed sweeps as well. Get the running game going.
Officials were talking over near the sideline. Did we have a flag on the far side? I guess we did. Personal foul on Carver. Wow. So this is going to really set the Rams back. It happened on the far sideline. Did not see what it was specifically, but it's 15 big yards against Carver. It's a third penalty and 32 yards. As a result, the ball's planted back at the 30-yard line. And it is now first down, so it goes as no play. According to the down marker, heavy pressure. Curry spins out of it. Curry still looking. He reverses field for the third time. Throws across the field, caught at the 25 and up near the 30. Wow. Ended up being no gain on the play, but he sure did make it exciting, didn't he, as he got the ball to Randolph Armstead.
Definitely one of the most exciting players on the Carver offense. Quarterback Quincy Curry. And like you said, he did all that for a gain of 0, but better than taking a sack for a loss of 10 or 15.
Yeah, it went nowhere, but didn't have a negative play anyway. Armstead made the catch, but nothing doing there. So, second down from the 30-yard line. 22 yards to go. Snap it, wants to throw it and does outside. That's caught up to the 40. Nice move inside 45 and getting up near midfield. So they get a big chunk of the yardage back. That's well done for Carver. Pass complete to Gregory Emery, it appeared. So a nice job by Emery. 19 yards.
Huge second down gain. Makes it 3rd and 3. Very manageable. If you're Coach Byron Addison, you may say, hey, Reese, we've got 2 plays to gain 3 yards. Let's get it.
From the 49, 3rd and 3. Curry wants to throw it. He does. And incomplete. Boy, threw into traffic. Good pressure again provided by 35 inside, which forced the errant throw, and the coverage was tight anyway. And there is another flag back by the quarterback. And the discussion will ensue. Again, there's only one of 2 possibilities here, holding or roughing the passer. Personal foul. Roughing the passer on 35 is going to give Carver a big first down. That's a huge mistake.
Huge after the incomplete on 3rd down. Would have been 4th and 3. Huge advantage of you for the Ron Eagle defense. You've been making stops all night, making life miserable for the front of Carver, and now you give them an extra 15.
All the way down to the 36-yard line of the Ron Eagles, and a big first down there on the 15-yard infraction. Gives 35 puts them in the hole. Really gives Carver a great opportunity here. From the 36-yard line, opening possession of the second half. Fake it. Throw it in the flat. Trying to get to the corner. Good speed. Broke a tackle. 30-25. A lot of speed there and a first down. Knocked out of bounds. Well done. At about the 19-yard line is Linares Elpage. And Elpage gets 17 and a first down.
There's a screen I was talking about right there. That's their top screen, looking back at their previous 3 games. Tunnel screen out there to Elpage.
17 yards. And Linares has 6 catches now for 48 yards. And now Carver in business at the 19. dropped the ball, picks it up. Curry's in trouble. Curry's going down. That play was aborted from the start, and he gets nailed. Once he didn't handle that ball cleanly, the penetration came, and he wasn't able to get back to the line of scrimmage. So Curry tackled at the 21, loss of 2, 2nd and 12.
Quarterback center exchange, something you do spring, summer, August.
Yeah,
every day.
Whether it's shotgun or under center.
Correct.
Take it for granted, but you really should. So you assume that that's the first exchange, the first thing that takes place.
It's like breathing.
Tell me about it. Curry option play, pitch on the ground. McDonogh 35 picks it up. This has a chance to go all the way back inside the 45 and down to the Carver 43-yard line as this was botched. And the fumble recovery by, looked like Quincy Curry who picked it up. It was, huh?
Yeah, Quincy Curry was the one who made the touchdown-saving tackle. They ran speed option, fumble by the back, scoop, and 1 tackle away from score for 35.
All the way down to the 43-yard line of Carver.
Ken, in these games that are really defensive ball games, 6-3 here with 8:58 left in the third quarter, decided by a kicking game play, turnovers, or penalties. That's what it comes down to.
First turnover for Carver. And now McDonogh 35 in great shape with 8:58 to play in the third, taking over on the plus side of the field. And they're going to run it inside, run on the zone play, pops open, and good yardage. That's what had success in the first half. Stephen Williams sprints down about the 36-yard line, picks up 7. Good first down play.
Keep pounding the rock if you're McDonogh 35. When you do throw the ball, find those comfortable passes for your quarterback, Armstrong.
Well, they've really chopped some holes for Williams and for Foreman, and of course Williams in particular has done an excellent job exploiting it. I formation, just going power here. 2nd and 3. Twin receivers left. And it's zone play left, and that's going to get forward for a first down. Williams across the 35 and down to the 33. He's got 3 more, and he's got a first down for McDonogh 35.
Keep moving the sticks by pounding the football. Defensive coordinator Frank Daggs for 35 all through the week. Pre-game, we want to play a physical style of football. Wayne Reese, 48 years in the business. That's what he knows best, going back to the 60s when Coach Reese came in to the coaching business. Run the football, pound the rock.
It's 4 downs and a first down to the 32. Great opportunity here for McDonogh 35, already up 6-3. Under 8 minutes to play in the third quarter. Wide side, right side, run it left, and another hole. Closes quickly, though, as he gets to the 29. This time a good job reacting, making the tackle by Owen Caruth. Owen did a good job.
Looked like it may have been weak side ISO. Run to the weak side away from the tight end. Find a natural bubble there in the B gap. Send the fullback in there. ISO him on the linebacker.
Gain of 3 to the 29. 2nd and 7 for the Ron Eagles. Wide side, right side of the field again. Tight end tucked in right side. Zone play inside. Big running room. Look at Williams go. Williams might go. He is going to be brought down. Last chance tackle at about the 11-yard line, and another first down. As again, the 35 Ron Eagles are just really handling Carver at the point of attack, aren't they?
They really are. They're resetting the line of scrimmage, and they're doing so in a 21 personnel, 2 backs, 1 tight end. You know it's coming. They're going to run the football. They're resetting the line of scrimmage.
Carver doesn't have an answer for it right now. It's down to the 12-yard line. A gain of 17 and a first down. Puts him at 100 yards even for the game, he being Williams. This time going to run it left, and this time nothing there. Different back in the game and carrying that time for the first time was 31 Datrell Cooper. So Datrell didn't have any running room.
Good job finding a spot there for Cooper to carry the football on 1st and 10, saving your money back Williams as well as Foreman, who's had a handful of carries on the night for the Ron Eagles.
Cooper stopped at the 11, a gain of 1 at 2nd and 9. Back in, Williams gets the call, and this time he's going to be met in the hole and stop cold. Orange shirts were waiting on him. He's got no gain to the 11. Good job by Carver to rise up there defensively. And now that's going to bring up a 3rd and 9 situation.
Something to look for coming up here. Trips to the wide side of the field. Single receiver to the boundary. Short side of the field fade. We'll find out after this timeout.
So no gain on that play for Williams. And it's going to be 3rd down. And 9 yards to go from the 11-yard line. Big play coming up. Because if you're Carver, you absolutely want to hold them to a field goal attempt here. Don't want to go down 2 scores. Even if they make a field goal, you're still only down 1 score. So this becomes a big play in the game. Coming up, every play on this drive has been a running play. Of course, Williams carried, the first 4, and then he just carried for a 5th time for no gain. Cooper carried the other time. So they've kept it on the ground, haven't they?
They sure have. They've done such a great job. Williams pounding the rock for the Ron Eagles with a little bit of Raymond Foreman, number 21, in there as well. If they do elect to throw the football here, as I said before the timeout, single receiver to the boundary fade or even back shoulder it.
See what they have in mind. Had the touchdown pass to McDonogh earlier in the game, did Armstrong. Armstrong's gone the distance at quarterback in this game. We knew there was a possibility of seeing Damon Pratt. But Armstrong has done a solid job to this point, and he's there. And now it's 3rd and 9 from the 11 with 5:57 to play in the quarter as we have the hydration break once again. This hydration timeout brought to you by Powerade, the official sideline thirst quencher of the LHSAA. 3rd and 9 at the 11. Foreman the deep back. Williams the up back. Takes the snap, rolls left, looking, time, throwing, end zone, and it's going to be picked off. Look at this, coming the other way. 30, speed, 40, cut back, it's open, he might go. Cuts back again, and he's tackled. A 70-yard plus return on the interception. A late flag comes down, and there's a huge play made for Carver by number 6, Dorian Jefferson. Flag comes down, a 35 player is down. Second turnover for 35, and it's both on interceptions.
You move the ball down in the red zone inside the 10-yard line by running the football, take a shot there, throw it across your body, it's picked off.
Well, it's a 70-yard return all the way to the 30-yard line. And meanwhile, injury on the field stops play. And you talk about a change of events. Instead of the possibility of the Ron Eagles going up 2 scores, now Carver is in position to tie or take the lead.
Sure, if you lose possession there on downs, they're going to have the ball and they have to drive it 85 yards, 90 yards. If you elect to kick a field goal and miss, they're going to have the ball at the 20. This is a complete game changer, and as I mentioned before, in the defensive games like this in high school football, decided by a kicking game play, a turnover, or a series of penalties.
Jefferson, the 6'1", 180-pound senior, comes up with a huge play and gives Carver the ball after a 71-yard return, officially at the 29-yard line of the Ron Eagles, with 5:41 to play in the third. Big chance for the Rams. Quincy Curry. Cortez Williams in front of him in the backfield, and a defensive lineman comes firing through early. Didn't think he was drawn offsides. I think it's just an offside infraction, and it is on 35. Put it at the 24, 1st and 5. And penalty number 7 on the Ron Eagles for 60 yards. And now 1st and 5 of the 24.
Find L. Page here on 1st and 5.
Well, he's lined up in the slot left. And 4 receivers set. Curry pump fakes. He's going to throw deep down the middle, and nobody there. Incomplete. And again, the free safety Henderson, boy, you can see what kind of player he is. He goes off the left hash and he's the closest man to the ball, firing toward that football.
Just a junior, 6'2", 205, being recruited by FBS schools. Has some offers out there from FBS schools. Will be a Power 5 signee next year, just a junior.
Good-looking player.
Was physically McDonogh 35's most impressive-looking player down on the field in pregame.
He can run. He's got good size at 6'2", 205. Second down and 5 of the 24. Going to run the draw play here, and they're all over it. Didn't fool anybody. Trying to get the defenders to run past you, but Cortez Williams had no chance to get past Tyree Nelson.
Outside of quarterback scrambles by Curry, McDonogh 35 has just completely taken away the Carver run game.
First carry for Williams, that's no yardage. 3rd and 5. And Carver with just 48 yards rushing in the game. 3rd and 5 of the 24. Curry the snap. Throwing in a flat, that is incomplete. As he tried to get it to Cortez Williams. And misconnection, so 4th down. And what will they do now? They're going to try the field goal, it appears. This is going to be over 40 yards. Blake is 1 for 2. Made from 29, missed from 36. This is going to be more along the lines of 40 to 41 here. And remember, as we mentioned earlier, he had a 42-yard field goal in the win over John Ehret. Left hash mark again.
One thing to note, if he comes up short, number 2 Henderson is back there deep for 35.
And again, right when they snapped the ball, timeout was called by Carver. So again, they burn a timeout. We saw that earlier in the game. So that'll put them down to 2 timeouts. And boy, as a coach, you would love to preserve those timeouts for endgame situations. But again, they couldn't afford to take a penalty there and go further back and make this a longer field goal. If that would happen, they probably would not try it. But instead, they maintain the opportunity to do so.
No question, give yourselves a shot to get 3 and tie the game here. Made 1 from 42. It's given Carver an added dimension in the special teams game, whereas in the past, Carver hasn't had a field goal kicker. Now they do. It gives them an extra added dimension. When you get inside the 30, it gives you a legit scoring threat.
Sure.
One thing you see here is the free safety number 2, Marion Henderson from McDonogh 35. He will be deep just inside the goal line in case kick is blocked and tipped and goes across the line of scrimmage, or if it comes up short, he has an opportunity to return it.
24 in the line of scrimmage. And they've changed their minds. They're going to go for it. So Curry, with 4th and 5, opting to go for it, takes the snap, looks and throws the slant incomplete, broken up beautifully. Great job for McDonogh 35 by number 9, Rashad Foley. Just made a nice break on the ball. He read it all the way.
Really impressed with the backup corners from McDonogh 35. They're part of the story, too, by coverage sacks and giving the McDonogh 35 Ron Eagle front more time to put pressure on Curry.
So big hole by the 35 defense. They get the ball back to the Ron Eagles at their own 24-yard line with 4:50 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And the Ron Eagles still maintaining their 6-3 lead.
Keep the football, pound the rock. 21 personnel here out of Twins I formation.
Well, they've thrown 2 interceptions. That's been their negative tonight. Carver showing a 6-man front. Make it a 7-man front. And Williams still exploits it and crosses the 30 out to the 31, gets 7 yards.
Continue to pound the rack, pound away, move the sticks, work the clock too, keep the defense on the field for the Rams. They have an 8-man box, playing man in the secondary.
16 carries, 107 yards for Stephen Williams, who at this point would certainly be my player of the game. 2nd down and 3 from the 31. This time the run shut down. Foreman tackled by Duke Coleman, who was there to put him down. Good play by Coleman. And now it's 3rd and 3.
Could see a weak side ISO play coming up for the Ron Eagles. 3rd and 3. Twins to the field. Tight into the Carver bench. Weak side ISO to the top. Let's see if that's what they come out with. They're going to face an 8-man box, no question. Play man free in the secondary, man up on the twin receivers.
3rd and 3 at the 31. Snap it, run it inside left, and plunging ahead to a first down up to the 35 is Williams. He got there. Ball comes out, but he was down. Williams is writhing in pain on the ground. Don't like seeing that. Got 4 yards, but now he's hurt, and that's really bad news for McDonogh 35. As I mentioned, he's been their most valuable player in this game now, 111 yards rushing, but he's down on the field and in pain. So play will stop, and they will tend to the injury, and can only hope that it's nothing severe.
Hopefully nothing serious, nothing real we could really see from our vantage point up here. In a big crowd of players from both teams.
They're going to try to help him up here. He fights for extra yardage all the time. Question is, can he put any weight on that right leg? The answer is no. Boy, that's just a shame. Now he puts his foot down at least a couple of times, but just unable to put any weight on the right leg. Boy, that's a valuable commodity right there.
That would be a huge blow to the Ron Eagle offense. A wrecking ball tonight so far.
He's had a brilliant game.
Physical runner, great vision, downhill runner, great ball security. Lines up at receiver as well.
He has to leave, and now it's going to be up to Foreman. In all likelihood, to carry the load. Raymond Foreman has 5 carries, or make it 6 carries for 17 yards.
And that's the good thing where you've created some depth. Foreman's been getting carries all year and got 6 carries coming in, and even 31 Cooper got a touch earlier.
High formation, Foreman dots it from the 35, runs it left, runs into some orange shirts and gets driven back. No chance for Foreman there. Malcolm Atkins was there. Foreman stopped cold at the 35. No gain, 2nd and 10.
8-man box for Carver. And the defender playing man over the number 2 receiver is peeking in, so it's almost like having a 9th defender if anything bounces out wide to him.
2nd and 10 at the 35.
Maybe a quarterback run here on a zone read.
Looking, throwing a quick one outside, caught across the 40 and out to about the 42 is Chambers on a gain of 7. 7-yard gain, 3rd and 3 now.
Mentioned it earlier, if you're going to throw, if you're going to ask Armstrong to throw, it's got to be a comfortable throw, something he's done over and over and repped hundreds of times that he feels comfortable with.
Now a big 3rd and 3 at the 42. Clock under 2 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. 6-3, Ron Eagles with the lead and with the ball on a big key conversion down here. Twin receivers to either side. Run Foreman, he's not going to get there. Tackled immediately. And that's Duke Coleman who made the play. And that will force a punt. Coleman's a really good player, as we've mentioned.
Headed to Kansas. Your best player, when it's needed most, needs to come up with a play. He did right there.
6'3", 225-pound senior, Gary Coleman. 4th down and 3, 42, punting situation. Back to punt is McDonogh. And a single receiver will drop deep for Carver. Punt is away very high, not very deep. will bounce at the 30, but it takes a Carver bounce going backwards. Oh, this thing bounced about 12 yards the other way. It is down to the 42. So Carver will get good field position with 46.8 seconds to play in the third. Still trailing 6-3, and another flag is down, it appears.
I like what McDonogh 35 did right there in their punt formation. Went empty. Took potential rush threats out of the box. No threat to block the punt.
No.
Get it away real clean, and then cover. Unfortunately, they got a negative roll there.
And a long discussion here to sort it out, make sure they get it straight. Again, this crew's done an excellent job here tonight.
They really have communicated well with both sides, communicated well with each other. Game has moved along briskly, with the exception of the aforementioned halftime.
You want to mention these gentlemen's names who have done a good job here tonight? You can certainly do that too, because we love to give credit where credit's due. Yeah, they do a very good job. It's a tough job to do, and sometimes people say, why does it take so long? Well, they want to make sure they get this right, one way or the other. It's a block in the back on Carver. So it was all about the spot. You're going to put it at the 32. That's where Carver will start. 46.8 seconds to play in the third.
Scott Mayu's crew, longtime veteran referee.
Yep, good to talk to Scott earlier.
Guy Rutledge is your umpire. The linesman is Danny Schaefer. Percy Fields is the line judge. John Brindell, field judge, former teammate of mine at Nickel State, former Salmon player. Sean Watson is the side judge. Your back judge is Bo Moore. Gary Catalano is the clock operator. Clem Webster on the 25 and 40-second clock.
Well, they've now put the ball back at the 28, so that's what they were trying to figure out. It's where the infraction took place. It's back at the 28-yard line, fourth penalty, 42 yards on Carver. And they'll start from the 28 with 46 seconds and change to play here in the third quarter. Curry going to run it inside. Tough yardage, 3 yards, and then hit hard. It was Armstead. Armstead wrapped up by Walter Robert.
Inside,
2 yards.
Inside zone play for Carver.
And just 2 yards to the 30. 2nd and 8. Clock down to 25 seconds and counting. Might be the final play of the quarter here. Curry calls for the ball, wants to throw it. Rush on, flushed out, throws deep down the field, and incomplete. With 9.2 seconds to play in the quarter, tried to get it to Calvin Jones, the speedy wide receiver.
Out of their doubles formation, you see a lot of slant, flat combinations where you have the inside receiver run flat routes. This time the flats became rails. Had L-Page to the boundary over here. Probably pre-snap read to the open side of the field. Again, really good coverage by the corner.
Well, once he's flushed out, his options are extremely limited. Puts him on one side of the field. He's on the move that way and really has to throw it that way. So 3rd down and 8 from the 30. Again, 4 receivers set, single setback. Curry, quick count, takes the snap. Wants to throw the screen over the middle, caught but nowhere to go. A yard gain, and that's all. L-Page made the catch, but David Ellis was there as the third quarter will come to a close. And at the end of 3 quarters, it is 6-3, McDonogh 35 on top. Fourth quarter to come. Glad you're with us. This is the Allstate Sugar Bowl LHSAA Thursday Night Football Game of the Week, a presentation of Crescent City Sports.
The score after 3 quarters, McDonogh 35-6.
Next Thursday night, the Allstate Sugar Bowl LHSAA Thursday night football game of the week is in Baton Rouge as the Parkview Baptist Eagles take on the two-time defending Division II champions, the University Lab Cubs. Join Eric, Kate Adams, and me next Thursday at 7 on the LHSAA live app or at CrescentCitySports.com. 6-3, lead for 35, fourth quarter to begin. Punting situation for Blake. Single receiver is deep. That's McDonogh for the Ron Eagles. Blake punts it away. Wobbly kick. Fair catch called for. Or did he call for? I guess he didn't. Took it and got hit. Pretty dangerous play by McDonogh, but he made the catch, and 35 will get good field position with 11:31 to play. And up by 3. Surprised that this lead is held for this long?
I am a little bit. Looking back at Carver facing 3 opponents that on paper are a little bit better than what McDonogh 35 saw in their first 3 games of the season. Says a lot about 35 team that is winless coming in, facing a formidable Carver program.
1st and 10 at the 39. Again, when you play a tough schedule, that's the result. 35 has gotten better. Again, injury to Williams. He's out of the game. Going to run the up back across the 40 and pounding it out near the 45 is Foreman as he picks up 6 on the play. Good first down play.
Quick hitter for 6 there. Just continue to do what you've done best all game. Continue to pound the rock. Reset the line of scrimmage. Wear down the Ram front.
2nd and 4 from the 45. Run Foreman again. Bounced off a tackle and fights forward for it. Looks like a first down. Good hard run by Foreman. And a first down to the 49. As Foreman runs hard and moves the chains and runs the clock in the process. Datrell Cooper is the running back in the game now, with Williams injured. Again, the straight I formation with twins to the left. And they run Cooper this time, and this time he's thrown back. Might have gotten to the line of scrimmage. Henry Williams, the sophomore middle linebacker, got him.
Not much secret what the Ron Eagles want to do out of 21 personnel. Continue to run the football, load the box, and as I mentioned before, your corner that's playing your number 2 receiver man can kind of peek in and become that 9th box player.
2nd and 11, loss of 1. Run it inside and not much happening here. Foreman driven straight back. Got the original line of scrimmage back 1 yard, but that's up. And it's going to be 3rd and 10.
If Armstrong pulled it there and ran the option to the left, they had to play because Carver missed a line there, sending 1 player extra over to the 2 receiver twin side.
Foreman got 1. It's 3rd and 10 at the 49. 9:30 and counting to play in this defensive hard-hitting struggle. 6-3 lead for McDonogh 35 with the ball on 3rd and 10. And Armstrong wants to throw. He's going deep. He's got a man, and it's batted away. Beautiful job. Outstanding job defensively to knock it away. Chambers was the intended receiver, and the ball never got there because of the outstanding play by number 6, Dorian Jefferson, who had the interception earlier.
No question. Some fine play by secondaries on both sides of football tonight.
I mean, you've seen a lot of man coverage. Guys isolated. And we've only seen really 1 play given up, the 25-yard touchdown pass, basically. So Carver holds. McDonogh will punt. And Carver will have twin receivers deep. Armstead, one of those. Helpage, the other. Kick is off to the side. Makes a little bit of a bounce and goes out of bounds. And Carver will get the ball back at about its 26-yard line with 9:08 to play. Still trailing McDonogh 35, 6-3. Don't see many 6-3 games anymore, do you?
You don't. It looks like the Cardinals and Cubs
Something
on an
like that.
afternoon at Wrigley. I think it was a net punt of around 25 yards. Not something you want to see, however, makes it unreturnable and keeps the ball out of L. Page's hands and Armstead's hands as well.
From the 27-yard line. Carver White getting a man on. Looking forward to seeing the Rummel defense this weekend and how good it's been as they play a Ruston team that was very impressive last week, which should be a really intriguing matchup. Game we have on radio in the New Orleans market on 106.1 FM. There's a fumble on the handoff and a big loss coming as a result. Well, just a botch play again. Cortez Williams didn't get the handoff, and he ends up having to retrieve the ball back at the 20-yard line. It's a loss of 7 yards. Big loss there.
We saw in a previous possession for Carver in the second half where you had a quarterback center exchange issue, and then right there you had quarterback running back mesh drill issue. Two fundamental things that went wrong that you work on hundreds of times during the course of a week.
So a loss of 7 yards. It's second down and 17 yards to go as a result at the 20-yard line. Quarterback in shotgun. Curry takes the snap, retreats to throw, rolls right, throws it outside. That's caught, but tackling him was the ground as he reached out to get it and unable to get forward. On the play was Randolph Armstead. Maybe got 2 yards. So it's going to be third down and long, about 15 yards to go.
Screen down here for Carver or your best 2x2, 3x1 concept.
Only got a yard. It's third down and 16 at the 21. They need to come up with a play of some sort here. Curry, quick throw outside, caught, 25, but not close to the first down. Tackled at about the 29-yard line was L. Page, a gain of 8, but well short. Hoping to get him in space and try to get him to make somebody miss, but the tackling's been sound all night for 35.
35, tremendous job. Running to the football, making tackles in open field, and limiting L. Page to less than 10 yards a touch, which was a key coming into the game.
Punt situation, Blake will handle that. McDonogh is deep for 35. Punt is away. This is short, and it's toward the sideline. And it's going to be fielded at midfield. Oh, that's a dangerous play, but worked out okay for the Ron Eagles as Desmond Carrier picked it up. And that's going to give McDonogh 35 the ball on the Carver side of the field, the 49-yard line with 6:44 to play, and still a 6-3 lead for the Ron Eagles.
Again, pound the rock if you're McDonogh 35.
Well, if they had Williams, you'd feel very strongly about their ability to control the game the rest of the way, but he's out, and it did not look very good, and I don't think we'll see him again.
Didn't look promising the way he walked off the field, the way he was helped off the field.
Split backs. Cooper and Foreman. Armstrong surveys and gives it to Foreman. Foreman fights forward to about the 44, gets 5 yards. So Foreman with 5, good first down play, makes it 2nd and 5. And runs the clock with 6:30 to play.
Previous series on the first play of the previous drive. Same kind of fullback run for a gain of 6. Same thing again for a gain of 5.
Yeah, they've put Foreman in the up back position a lot, and again they did it there with split backs. So, but all of it leading to power, which has been their game throughout here this evening. 2nd and 5 at the 44. This time, split backs again. And now the whistle sounds. They want the hydration break before the ball snap. So we'll get the hydration break here. This hydration timeout is brought to you by Powerade, the official sideline thirst quencher of the LHSAA. Want to help your school get updated equipment, upgrade our facilities, or buy some new uniforms? Enter for a chance to win $2,000 for your school's athletic programs by submitting a video or essay to Powerade Power Your School. Enter at PoweradePowerYourSchool.com. By the way, Crescent City Sports has more high school football this weekend with a pair of games from Tulane's Yeoman Stadium. Tomorrow night, catch Newman and Country Day, both on Cox Sports Television and CrescentCitySports.com. Then on Saturday night, I'll be there at Yeoman for John Curtis Christian and St. Augustine in the District 9 5A opener for both teams. Can also listen to that game live on 106.1 Nash Icon. So again, a couple of great games from Yeoman coming up that we'll be part of at CrescentCitySports.com, Cox Sports Television, and 106.1 FM Nash Icon, Friday and Saturday.
Newman and Country Day, former district rivals, but with Country Day moving down, Coach Chango at Country Day, Coach Stewart at Newman agreed to continue the rivalry, and I think that's great for high school football in this area.
Yeah, I want to make a comment too. I had a chance to speak at the St. Martin's Champions Club here earlier this day at lunchtime at New Orleans Country Club, and thanks to all the wonderful folks at St. Martin's and Coach Frank Jandusa, who's the athletic director now as well, for having me there, and Barry Searles. Give inside, Foreman fighting, look at him run hard to the 40. He's a yard short of a first down, but makes it a very manageable 3rd and 1. Good hard run by Foreman, who's picking up the slack for Williams.
Coming into that, you had the 40-second clock in operation, and I think the 35 staff knew they were going to be able to not snap it, and there were going to be 2 seconds left on the 40-second clock. Hydration timeout was going to be called. Then you come back, you get 25 seconds put back on, so you're able to run down over a minute without taking a snap.
Got to figure Foreman, the up back, gets it here, right? 3rd and 1.
You would think.
He does, and I don't know. Needed a yard, and I don't know if he got there. Might be just short, which would make it 4th and less than a yard, and a situation where they're going to go for it. And that looks like the case to me. He looks just short by about maybe a half a yard, right?
Looks that way, and they'll measure. They'll bring the sticks out, get a better look at it.
4th and less than a yard, it certainly appears to us from our vantage point here at Pan Am. Also want to salute Tony Villegas, our good and great friend for so many years, that oversees both Pan American Stadium and Tad Gormley Stadium, for making sure this facility is open for us to get in early to set up. And you talk about a really good man, a great friend of many years, great coach as well, just a real gentleman. Thanks to Tony Villegas for his continued support of what we do.
Long-time Catholic League coaching great.
No doubt.
Great to see him still involved with 2 stadiums that support high school football.
Half a yard short, as we surmised. 4th down and that distance, and the Ron Eagles will certainly go for it here. Whatever happened to the old quarterback sneak, man? We don't see much of that anymore, do we?
I think some of the shotgun aspect has taken that out of the game.
And it's such a weapon when you have less than a yard, right?
No question.
Part of the problem is a lot of these teams don't even get under center, so when they have that opportunity, they don't do it.
2 years ago, Catholic versus Curtis, first play of the game for the Catholic High Bears, quarterback sneak for 3 yards.
I remember it. You just don't want to talk about the one last year, that's all, which is perfectly understandable.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't think you did. 4th and half a yard. Man strikes up a tune, you might imagine. And a timeout, Carver. They took one look and took a timeout, knowing that this is the most important play of the game with 4:48 to play. They got to look at the formation, and now they're going to decide how they want to play this. I can answer that. Press the line of scrimmage with 9 or 10 players.
Without a doubt, you can play a 9-man box, and if you continue to see twins formation, man up on both twin receivers and play a 9-man box. Tighten up the gaps inside, play a head-up nose, play 2 defensive linemen on the inside eyes of the guards, and then take away the B gaps as well and creep your linebackers up as well. Good
idea. Sound like a coach to me. Maybe you should think about that profession.
I'm retired.
Okay. I thought I'd try. Fourth, less than a yard. Officially the 40, though the ball's at the 39.5. Because they need the 39 for a first down. Look at this formation. Talk about power formation. That's a power eye, right? And there's the old sneak. Hey, listen, it's going to work every time in that situation. He gets the assist from behind and easily gets the first down. 3 yards for Armstrong. Good call. Maybe I should be a coach.
No question. Great formation there. Bring in Walter, Robert, Salik Kondal, 2 big giant defensive tackles. Bring them in there, create a surge, and also put 2 heavy fullbacks behind the quarterback and have them get the Reggie Bush push.
There you go. Like it.
Which is rarely called.
4:20 and counting. Eats a lot of clock. New set of downs. Single set back here. Different formation. Foreman is that back. You'll get the call. Running left, running hard. And fighting inside the 35. Down to the 33. Has 4. And runs some more clock. Which is almost as important right now for 35.
No question. Great ball security here by your ball carriers. Stay in bounds. Don't fight for extra yardage. Stay in bounds.
It's 5 yards, officially 2nd and 5 from the 32. When you run that ball and avoid penalties, that clock is going to melt. 40 seconds between plays now. 2nd and 5 of the 32. Foreman now the deep back and a quick snap. He'll get the call. Hit in the backfield, shook one off, shook another one off. Somehow managed to get positive yardage out of nothing there. Going to be stopped at the 32. He didn't get anything, as it turns out, but it's 3rd and 5. Would have been a loss. So here's a big 3rd and 5. Under 3 minutes to play by the time the ball is snapped. 3rd and 5 of the 32. And they have to be thinking 4 downs again.
2 snaps to get 5 yards. If you don't get it, they still have to drive 70 yards on you.
What about
defense.
pulling it and running, because they're just crashing
correct
to the inside?
That's something else here. Fake it to the left here and then naked to
3rd
the right
and 5.
Quarterback.
And give it to Foreman running left. Has the corner right near the first down marker. Needed 5. It depends on the mark. As Foreman ran left, and it looks like he's got it for a first down.
The way it was setting up really looked like he was going to fake the handoff and pull it and naked around, as you alluded to pre-snap.
5 yards and a first down to the 27. How big is that with only 2:23 and counting to play? And now Carver, I think, only has 1 timeout left, so it's almost curtains here for the Rams, Eric. I mean, they can only stop the clock once more, and you got a fresh set of downs here.
You need to call.
And when are they going to use that timeout?
Right
exactly.
away. Right away.
1st and 10. Snap it. Run it right. Short yardage, and let's see if they take the timeout. The give was to Foreman, and no signal yet. Got to the 26. Gain of 1, 2nd and 9, and the clock continues to run.
And you take it right away because you stop the game clock.
Now they whistle, and they just took it. They just let 8-9 seconds go.
You call it right away.
Yeah.
That way, if you force a turnover, you give yourself an extra, for now, 10 seconds. But if you don't call the timeout and you let it run to the 2nd down, is ball snapped on 2nd down by 35, then it's another 30 seconds that elapse.
Well, you can do the math. 40 and 40 is, 80. That's 28 seconds left in the game, plus the time that it takes to reset that clock in between plays. So, I mean, it's almost over here. And Eric's going to go down and talk to the winning coach, Wayne Reese, for sure here. And get him down there after the next play for sure, so that you'll be able to hear from Coach Reese. And I'll just be able to signal you very vociferously. With 1:48 to play.
If you do it well enough, they may hire you at Moisant Airport.
Okay. Yeah, flag man. Chop, chop. Go for it. It's all good. All right, so here we go. With 2nd and 9 at the 26, Carver is out of timeouts, we believe. 1 first down puts it away, but even then, it's going to be hard for Carver here in this circumstance. Cooper is the deep back. Foreman the up back. Curry the snap, gives to Cooper. He's spilled right away. So Cooper tackled, hardly got anywhere as the tackle was made by 50 Henry Williams. But again, the clock is going to run here. So it's 3rd down at the 27-yard line, a loss of 1. Clock continues to run. 1:25 and counting. Play clock at 23. And they'll just run down here. There's no doubt about that. Well, the Ron Eagles, if Carver gets a stop, they might have time for 1 or 2 plays. I mean, that's basically what you're looking at here. And they're just letting it run down, and they break the huddle. They might take a penalty here. And they snapped it, but did they get a timeout before the snap? I believe they did. Yep, they got a timeout with 1 minute left. So you got the play forthcoming, and then you got 40 seconds between plays. Carver might get the ball back, or they might not, because there might be about 10 seconds difference, and that's it. And if that's the case, McDonogh 35 is going to go for it on 4th down. Run another play and try to run the clock out. And that's basically where you're at. And again, that's the value of trying to preserve your timeouts for late in the game. In these situations, they really manifest themselves as to how important that is. And unfortunately for Carver, they were unable to do so. And they find themselves in a situation where they cannot stop the clock. And McDonogh 35 is in prime position to win this football game by a 6-3 margin, which you just don't see very much of at all in these days. There's something refreshing to be said about it with the way defense has been played. So both teams talk it over with their coaches. And now back on the field. Third down, I should say. 3rd down and 10 from the 27. 3rd and 10 at the 27, a minute left. Foreman the deep back, figures to get the ball here. He does, and he plunges forward. And the clock running as he gets to the 26. The whistle blows. And Carver's probably just going to try to run the ball again and run the clock out here, basically. There's only about an 8-second difference between the game clock and the play clock. So a gain of 1, 4th and 6, and again, just 8 to 9 seconds difference between the game clock and the play clock, and no need for 35 to do anything but try to run the ball again here and run the clock out. If you're really daring, you tell your quarterback to go backwards and just run around and run the clock out. But that's, again, you want to make sure you handle the ball well. Now they back off this 35 and they go back into their huddle situation. They can always take a penalty or take a timeout here. When the clock runs down, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and clock will stop here with 7.6 seconds left. 35 just took the 5-yard penalty, I do believe. They're going to reset it to 9 seconds left. So 9 seconds, delay of game penalty, and there's 9 seconds left in the game. 8th penalty and 65 yards on 35. So they don't care about the yardage at all. 4th down and 14 at the 31, but 9 seconds left. So Ron Eagles will just run the ball here and maybe give Carver time for 1 play. Maybe. Armstrong takes the snap, runs it straight ahead, and that play ended quickly. Clock will stop with 5.9 seconds left, so Carver will get the ball back. But they got about 68 yards to make here. So let's see what happens. A loss of 1 on the play for Foreman, and now Carver gets it back with 5.9 seconds left. And time for 1 play, barring a penalty. Time for a miracle for the Rams. .35, no doubt, will be in a prevent situation. They drop 6 men, make it 7 men back off the ball. 3 guys very deep. Curry takes the snap, probably the last play, throws underneath, caught, lateral play. That's good play. Trying to find room, but it's not going to happen, and the game's going to end. So McDonogh 35 has won this one by the score of 6-3, and a celebration ensues as they did an outstanding job here tonight. Then McDonogh 35, Elpage down on the play as he was hit. Let's hope he gets up. That's the last thing you want to see as a player hurt on the final play of the game as he went down. And we'll check and see as the play ended at the 47-yard line. There's a 15-yard net on the play. And, of course, now we have to wait to see if Elpage is okay. Real concern, obviously. And then we'll get Eric in position to talk to Coach Reese as well. So, a 6-3 victory here for McDonogh 35. It's tempered by the injury on the final play of the game. And again, you hope it's not serious. Helping up the player. The backside of the play up now, and now the handshake line takes place. McDonogh 35 gets its first win of the year to go to 1-3. And Carver with a loss drops to 2-2. Well, Carver's defense did everything it could in this game. They did a great job. But its offense just couldn't get anything done against 35 here this evening. Just an outstanding job overall by McDonogh 35. They simply weren't going to allow Carver to do anything on them. Carver could not run the ball. It's that simple. And when you can't run the ball, you got a problem. And they had a problem here tonight in being able to get anything done because of that. And obviously a great situation here for 35 is that tough schedule pays off for them. They get a win tonight against a quality football team in the Carver Rams to win this game by the score of 6-3. Crescent City Sports has more high school football this weekend. A pair of games from Tulane's Yeoman Stadium. Tomorrow night, catch Newman and Country Day on both Cox Sports Television and CrescentCitySports.com. Then on Saturday night, it's John Curtis Christian and St. Augustine facing off in the District 6-5A opener for both teams. I say 6-5A, 9-5A. Make that the 9-5A opener for both teams. You can also hear that game on 106.1 FM Nash Icon from Yeoman Stadium on Saturday evening. Look forward to that one as well. As players again finishing up their congratulatory handshake here. And waiting for the players to sort it out. All right, so Eric is lined up there with Coach Wayne Reese, and so let's go ahead and go down to Coach. Eric still has some handshakes taking place. Coach Reese is still involved in that, so we don't want to go to him too soon in this situation. Want to make sure he's lined up, so now they're finally good, and let's go down to Eric Kell with Coach Wayne Reese. Go ahead, Eric, take it away. Take it away, Eric.
The 8th year, Coach.
All right, not able to hear Eric, unfortunately. So just not able to pick him up at this point in time. So if we somehow manage to get him, we'll make sure we can add on to that. But just not able to pick him up just now as he talks to Wayne Reese, who's probably telling him something like, I like the way our defense played. I like the fact that our offense did enough running the ball. Old-fashioned football. And as a result, we win the game. So we're very happy about the way things unfolded here this evening. So I think something like that. would be the likely scenario in terms of what he's saying. So I'm just translating for you because obviously not able to get him to hear this at
The game.
point in time. So just cannot pick him up. So want to thank Eric, though, for making that effort nonetheless. Where's Kay when you
Lone Reese L page.
Yeah.
So, again, thanks to Eric for making that effort nonetheless. And again, 6-3 final for McDonogh 35. Let's go ahead and tell you about some of what happened here tonight in terms of some final numbers that you'll want to check out.
We just did a great job. Linebackers and all those guys, they did a great job for us tonight. So I'm just proud of those guys, defensive backs.
Well, you heard about his linebackers.
Most people are scared of Carver and everybody else because of his speed.
Right.
And I figured that we could match him with our guys. Did a great job.
No question. Certainly did that here tonight. Before I let you go, talk about the mindset of your team. Have the look of a team that was winless coming in. Talk about what your schedule did.
All right, well, we thank Eric once again for a job well done. Let's tell you about some of those final numbers here tonight. Quincy Curry for Carver, of course, certainly their best offensive player. He had 9 carries for 43 yards. He was their running attack. That was basically making runs on his own after not play call, but passes that ended up being runs. So he ran for 43 yards, and Curry completed 13 of 26 passes for 103 yards in the game as well. So he accounted for 146 yards, and that was basically their offense. Randolph Armstead had 7 yards rushing on 7 carries, and Cortez Williams lost 7 yards. So that was it. Curry was their offense. Linares Elpage, 9 receptions, 62 yards. And then on the other side, Steven Williams was really good before he got hurt. Man, you hated to see him go down. 17 carries, 111 yards for Williams in this game. And Raymond Foreman rushed for 48 yards as he had to carry a large part of that later on as well and did a good job. And Emmanuel Armstrong passing was 5 of 13, 53 yards with the interception. 2 sacks for 35 in the game, and 35 overcame 2 turnovers to win it here tonight as they get it done by the score of 6-3 over the Carver Rams. And again, we want to remind you that next Thursday night, the Allstate Sugar Bowl, LHSAA Thursday night football game of the week, is in Baton Rouge as the Parkview Baptist Eagles take on the 2-time defending Division II champions, the University Lab Cubs. Join Eric, Kate Adams, and me next Thursday at 7 on the LHSAA live app on CrescentCitySports.com. That's next Thursday night. Should be a good one in Baton Rouge, and we sure look forward to bringing that one to you. I mean, this was just an outstanding defensive performance by McDonogh 35 here this evening. When you hold an opponent to 146 total yards and you hold them to just a total of 3 points, you're going to win. And that's exactly what happened here tonight as McDonogh 35 prevailed by the score of 6-3. Taking a look forward at what's coming up for these teams. 35 next week will make a trip to Edgard to take on a very good West St. John Rams team. That's coming up next Friday night in Edgard as 35 takes on West St. John and Carver. Next week we'll play on Thursday night again as they play at Haas Memphis Stadium against the Helen Cox Cougars. So again, Carver and Helen Cox next Thursday night, and it will be the McDonogh 35 Ron Eagles heading to West St. John to play next Friday night. So again, a solid performance by the Ron Eagles here tonight to improve to 1-3 on the year, and the Rams drop to 2-2 with the defeat. And we're sure looking forward to next week in Baton Rouge, again with Parkview Baptist and University High on the campus of Louisiana State University. 6-3 win for McDonogh 35 here this evening. Again, great defensive effort by McDonogh 35, allowing just 146 total yards in the game and holding the powerful Carver Ram offense to just 3 points. Eric Kelbury joins me now, catching his breath. And Eric, obviously, this was all about defense. You don't see many 6-3 games anymore. This was really, to me, kind of enlightening to watch a game like this.
No question. In the advent of the spread offenses, you're used to seeing high-scoring affairs. It's been a trickle-down effect from the pro level, the college level, into high school. So to see a 6-3 game was refreshing, as you mentioned. Great defensive battle. Carver gaining only 146 yards on the night. That was the story of the game, the McDonogh 35 defense. Their young corners, starting for the first time tonight, did such a great job leveraging the receivers for Carver. A few key pass breakups as well. And then, of course, the running game led by Steven Williams, who hopefully will be back to fight another day after leaving the game in the third quarter with an injury.
Well, just a really good performance by the 35 defense and a good performance by the Carver defense. I mean, they held 35 to 6 points. They just could not generate any offense.
They couldn't do anything, and sometimes when you get into a struggle, things aren't going well, you kind of lose your identity as an offense. But I think a lot of that had to do with the MAC 35 defensive front and, of course, the young corners. And then number 2, Marion Henderson at free safety is such a freak for the Ron Eagles, playing center field for their defense. They're going to have something to say in Class 3A. You can see it down the line. Played a tough pre-district schedule, and then they get into a district where they're clearly the preseason favorite.
Well, next week we had the Baton Rouge, as mentioned. It's Parkview Baptist and University High, and we're looking forward to that matchup. It's always a good rivalry.
No question. Heated rivalry between the two schools. There's a respect between them. Former Louisville quarterback Stefan LaForce in his first year as the head coach at Parkview Baptist, and Andy Martin, a longtime defensive coordinator for the University Cubs under Chad Mahaffey. Andy Martin takes over, and he's in his first year, and they played a tough pre-district schedule. A common opponent between the two schools is Catholic High. Parkview played Catholic in the first week of the season, and then last week U-High played Catholic and took them to the final minute of the game.
Yep. Should be a good one. We sure look forward to that one next week. And Kate will be back with us. And Eric, it's been a pleasure being with you tonight.
Absolutely. Always fun to do this on Thursday night. Gives me something to do, something to stay in touch with football, look at a little bit of film, kind of study up the two teams. And it's been fun working with you and the entire gang.
Well, thank you. And also we want to salute Peter Marshall, Glenn Riebert, and Adam Bryant for a job well done tonight. I want to thank Lenny Van Gilder, as always, for his executive production of what transpires here. And we thank you for joining us. The Allstate Sugar Bowl LHSAA Thursday night game of the week is in Baton Rouge next week for the Parkview Baptist game against the University Lab Cubs. Once again, your final score tonight, McDonogh 35-6 and Carver 3. For Eric Kell, Kate Adams, and our entire Crescent City Sports production team, I'm Ken Trahan, saying thanks for joining us and be a good sport. God bless you one and all. We are rounding third and heading home. So long.